Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. We got Bev Porter in the chat. What's up, Mom?
Mama P.
Mama P. Bourbon Engineer. Brian, what's up? Kathy.
Kathy's here.
Bill Kavanaugh is here.
I think we got Greg.
Who else do we got?
Oh, Eric is here.
Eric Desmarais. Like that last name, even if I am butchering it. Who else do we have in the chat?
Greg
Johnson's here. What's up, Greg?
Hey, Greg.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining in. This is going to be fun. We got DC in the house. DC did us dirty this week on some thumbnails, but that's all good.
It's all good.
It's all in good fun. Doug Tucker is here. What's up, man?
Yeah. We got a good crew.
We do have a good crew.
Who else?
Bill Jones is here. What's
Bill.
up? Thanks for joining in. On a Russell's Reserve single barrel, no less.
Nice.
Mark Linder is here. Howdy. Top Dog is here. And he's saying that he's here.
Yes.
Joe Dawson is here. Eric C. What is up? Paula Schmidt's here. Oh, we're going to have Paula in our blind flight night tomorrow night. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Den Steele is here. That's a nice name.
Yep.
Michael Silva. Timothy Thomas. Jimmy Drammer. Brian Miller. And Aiden.
Hey, Aiden.
What is up? I think we are caught up with the chat right now. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Boy, this is a big weekend for us. We have a big live streaming weekend.
Yeah.
Between Matt Madness on Friday, and then yesterday we did some batch filming on some head-to-heads. Yep. We did 3 head-to-heads yesterday. And then we're live streaming tonight. And then tomorrow night we have our Patron blind flight night, which is going to be a ton of fun. And we got some guest passes out there with Paula and Old Man Bourbon if he pops into the chat at all tonight. So it's going to be fun having some people on board for that.
Yeah,
We've
Richard
got
White's here.
And Ryan Oravets. I like that.
Regs Lugo's here.
Ken Stevens is here. Yeah. All right. We're seeing names. I need to pay attention to what people are actually saying.
Yeah.
So I've seen some congratulations on the Matt Madness win and just in general, some props on the enjoyment of the episode.
Yeah. And on our 1-year anniversary of the channel. People are saying happy anniversary.
This is the 1-year anniversary of the channel.
Yeah.
Blind Squirrel is here. Bev says she loves your outfit.
Oh, thank you, Bev.
She gets more compliments when she wears this kimono than anything else.
I love it too. It's so comfy. I can just like walk around and feel fashionable, but I feel like I'm wearing a bathrobe.
Corey Suter is here. Yeah, so happy to have you guys in. Jeff Boggs, thanks for joining in, man. Yeah, so tonight we're just kind of celebrating tonight, and that's what we're looking forward to doing with you guys, with Wildlife and Whiskey joining the chat.
Hey.
Bowyer, Keenan Ludman's here. Man, all right,
Jimmy
we got
Drammer.
a lot of people. How many people we got in the chat? 58.
58.
Wow. We're that's popping for us. So thanks for joining in, guys.
Yeah.
So we started this channel a year ago. April 22nd was our first. It was our bloopers video when we dropped that.
That was the best thing we've ever done.
Yep, it's been downhill since. Robert in Colorado is here.
Nice.
I think I said Ken Stevens is here, but if I'm not, he's here, and if I did, then he's here again.
Cool.
So, all right. So,
today's Ken's birthday. Happy birthday, Ken!
Nice, congratulations, happy birthday! Whoa!
Oh, Eric is here.
Eric coming in with a crazy super chat. Wow!
Thank you, Eric.
Eric is a huge part of this channel. He's like the producer of this channel.
Basically,
it's his channel. We're just the on screen. We're just on screen. I was gonna say talent, but we're not really talented.
No.
We're like the on screen personalities.
We're just the faces.
Yeah. April Brown is here. William Guglielmo.
Don't even. Hey, William.
William G's here. Hey. All right, guys. So yeah, we're gonna do a couple of things tonight. We're gonna kind of recap the first year of the channel, and we're also gonna recap Matt Madness, and we're gonna drink some things while we do that because what else would we do?
Why not?
So we'll get into what we're gonna have in front of us right here at first, but after we get done with these two, you guys are going to pick what we drink. So that should hopefully be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Mark Johnson is here. He says he loves our reviews and he finds that they match his palate.
Oh.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the biggest things you can look for in whiskey tube reviews is if you can find somebody that lines up with your palate, or at least how they differ from your palate, so that you can then gauge what you might like based on what they like.
Right. Or what you might not like based on what they do like.
Yeah. John DeCiso is here. I said Eric C's here. All right, cool. So, all right, guys. What are we going to get into here?
I don't
Before
know.
we even get into anything, we got to thank our Patron crew.
Yes.
And we'll even talk about Patreon and what that looks like as part of the channel, because it was not something that we originally thought we would be doing when we started the channel.
Yeah.
But our patrons let us do a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of local people that are on board.
Yeah.
JG's here. Welcome aboard, man. To the professionals. We'll get into that. But our patron community just helps us a ton. We say it's like the interactive element of the channel. And it really is, because this is live streams are a two-way conversation with chat, but the videos we put out are just a one-way conversation. But the Patreon platform lets us get a lot more interactive. So we really appreciate all the support over there. And it means a lot. So past patrons, present patrons, we can't thank you guys enough. And we want to shout out the new patrons since the last time that we did a live stream, last public live stream.
Also,
podcast is here.
Said I was robbed. It's okay. I had very low expectations for myself, so I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Is it Will or Grease? Who's here? Bat Dog is here.
Hey,
awesome name. Greg Johnson says, we are professional whiskey tasters. We are not regular people. No. That was the best edit ever. Let's shout out our new patrons. Okay. So since the last time we did a live stream, we've had Whiskey Jason sign up. Yep. Mark Schwartz, Will Henderson, Hendo's on board. Yeah. David Jennings, Rare Bird 101, which was insane to see that name come across, like being two wild turkey heads and, just seeing wild turkey legend David Jennings join on Patreon was insane. And then Alan Wolf joined in, and Arnie Markle. I almost am sure I said that right. So we had all those people join in on a couple of our tiers, and we had Ian Alpert sign up to our bonus content tier. Nice. So we do 2 additional episodes every week over on Patreon, and they're like a little bit more like whiskey reviews, but they're laid back, they're uncut. Yep. So those are a ton of fun, and we really enjoy making that content a lot. And then for our Whiskey with Friends tier, where we do our patron live streams, our blind flight nights, all that stuff, we've had Mike O'Connell signed up. He bumped up from a tier to go into that, and he's on our blind flight night tomorrow. So cannot wait for that. And we had Brian Miller and Mike Smith sign up for that too. So
thank you all.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of what we're doing over here. We cannot thank you enough.
Yes. We had, so it said, I think both of them.
Did we miss Whiskey?
The podcast is both of them.
Okay, they're both here. Whiskey 1966 is here.
Remember when I used to say, I just smell whiskey? Yeah. I've come a long way. Yeah. Thank you.
That still does happen from time to time.
That happened yesterday.
It did.
When we were filming. Because sometimes that's all I smell. I don't get any pronounced notes of anything.
It is funny looking back at some of the older videos and seeing how, we'll get into it. We'll get into it in the 1 year recap. Yeah. So we said JG's here.
Oh, DC, thank you.
DC, man, and Kathy Huey. Thank you guys.
Anniversary. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for the generosity and the love and the support and all that you guys do for us and for DC, for the Whiskey Tube community. My goodness, that man is.
DC put in a Go Vols for us.
Oh, that's terrible.
He knows that we love Tennessee.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
We love DC.
Yes.
I don't know so much about the Vols, but we like DC more than we hate the Vols. How about that?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Jason Osborne is here. Welcome aboard. Will's the one saying that Erin was robbed. Just saying. Erin had some really good strategy for Matt Madness, and it wasn't. We did talk about strategy a little bit together, and we trained together, but we had 2 totally different approaches to Matt Madness. So yeah. I'm not sure I'm wanting to give up all my trade secrets as to what happened for me, but I will talk pretty openly about a lot of it. Yeah. Jeff Boggs is here and says that our channel solidified his love for Rare Breed. Well, we are happy.
You're welcome.
We are happy to facilitate any and all of that.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Jason says we may chat about whiskey, but we're fine wine. I like that comment. That's nice.
All right. So first things first.
Podcast. Thank you guys.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. I'm assuming that's Will, because I don't think Grease has access to the podcast super chat. So thanks, Will, for good reason.
Don't confuse to this being your actual anniversary going forward.
Exactly. Well, they're actually not far off. Our wedding anniversary is May 1st.
Yes.
So technically our first video came out on April 29th, not counting the bloopers.
I thought it
video.
was 22nd.
The 22nd was the bloopers, and then a week later on the 29th
was the actual non-bloopers video.
Hit me a mute. I've got a feather in my throat, and I need to cough this out real quick.
Okay, hold on. Mute.
Stand by, guys.
Just a second. Unmuted.
And we're back. All right. So let's talk about what we got in front of us. Let's get into this.
Okay.
One of the cool things that happens when you're a whiskey tube channel is people reach out to you to do things. And we've had people reach out to us about like ice makers and CBD creams and what else? Perfumes and all kinds of stuff. Well, nobody reached out to us about that, but we are
we talk about slippers.
We are accepting sponsorships for slippers from Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
For
Somebody
Erin
did reach out about perfume, but then they wanted us to pay for it, and I was like, nah, I'll just buy it myself.
No, it wasn't pay for it. They wanted us to like change the way we do our videos.
That's right. They wanted
it.
Yeah, and I was like,
and we're not doing that.
I'll just buy it myself and talk about it if I want to.
And we've had certain distilleries and stuff reach out to us and want to send us stuff, and that's if we're not interested in the product, we don't want to say yes just to get something in. That's not interesting to us. Kevin O'Keefe is in the house.
Oh, thank you, JG.
I almost called him by the whiskeychannel.com name. That's a little different. Jason Osborne is here. I think I said Jason Osborne's already here. Nonetheless,
it's fine.
I'm having trouble keeping up. Thank you, JG. By the way, we're doing a giveaway tonight. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yep.
And all you guys are going to be entered. So we will go back. We will go back and cover those super chats.
I'll do that right now. Josh, talk.
Unless there's somebody tracking. So these are from Buzzard's Roost, and we saw Matt Porter do a review on some Buzzard's Roost stuff, and I think we saw Fred Minnick talk about it. And that's kind of like if it's something that we don't know about. Like last time we did a little bit of the J.K. Williams, which was really cool because Fred Minnick had given something one of his Ascot Awards, which is a little bit different than like a San Francisco whiskey competition medal. With that said, the Buzzard's Roost stuff, we've seen some people that we know and respect talk about them, so we wanted to give them a shot. And I really, Eric C coming in with a big super chat. Wow. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
This is like the duel of the Erics. Dropping huge super chats. Wow, guys. All thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all.
So yeah, we have Buzzard's Roost stuff here. We have two of their product offerings. I really like that they don't release anything like low proof. Everything is like up around 105 or more.
Oh, is that the case?
So we have these little media samples. We have the Buzzard's Roost Toasted French Oak Straight Bourbon Whiskey at 105 proof. And that's going to be in glass 1. And then we have the Barrel Strength Straight Rye Whiskey at 115 proof, which is going to be over here in glass 2. So I like toasted French oak finishing, and Erin likes rye. So this is going to be really interesting. There's not a lot of information on where they get their stuff from. I don't know if it's sourced MGP or if it's their own stuff that they then do some things with. So we'll see if we get any craftiness on it. We'll see, if we get MGP on it. We'll kind of see what we're working with as we get into these glasses. Make sure we're all caught up on super chats before we get in here.
We got one more. Just plain
Wow,
Shane.
Just plain Shane. Thanks, man.
I'll add you into the giveaway.
Oh, thank you.
We'll talk about that.
He's proud of us.
Aww.
Thank you, Shane. My middle name is Shane.
It is.
Yeah. So somewhat kindred spirits. Yeah. Bourbon is here.
Hey, Bourbon.
Corey Elgood is here. What's Bourbon saying? Congrats on a year. Yeah. Oh, man. He's found 2 sources for rare breed non-chill filtered, but shipping costs as much as a bottle, so he didn't reach out.
Yeah, that checks out.
We actually, wildly enough, we had a Brian, a guy that watches. It's part of Nashville Bourbon Social Club from this area nearby, and he actually lives in Japan right now. He was able to get a non-chill filtered rare breed that will be traveling with him from Japan to Middle Tennessee in May.
I didn't know this. You didn't tell me this.
Yeah, and we will be picking up that bottle from him. So
I didn't know this. This is a good anniversary.
That's pretty cool.
Present.
Yeah. Nice. Happy anniversary. So that's the wild kind of thing that happens when you have a channel. Wow, Bill, thank you so much. If only I'd gotten that rye. What was it? It was sample C. It was the sample C was the Nulu rye. It was Matt's pick. What's it called? The New Losers. I should have gotten that.
Which we had a sample of before.
From Bill. And I drank it Wednesday night and Thursday night right before Matt Madness. And we'll talk about that when we get into all the prep. So that's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of split this thing into 3 parts. The first part's going to be talking about Buzzard's Roost and doing, trying these and see what we're working with. That'll be pretty short, kind of our quick sip review style.
Yep.
And then after that, we'll get into kind of a 1-year recap and Q&A if you guys have any questions about the channel. I mean, we're open books. You can ask whatever you'd like to ask. We're happy to talk about it.
Yep.
And then after we do that, then we'll kind of get into the Matt Madness stuff. And you guys can, like I said, pick what we drink along the way. We've got 3 different sections. Like we have an American whiskey, a finished whiskey, and then Scotch whiskey. And you guys get to pick out of 4 different samples in each category what we'll be drinking. And we've not had any of them.
Wisely.
We've not had any of them. So you're going to get to see our reactions. It won't be blind, but you'll get to at least see our reactions. So for now, let's go ahead and we're going to actually focus in on making sure we're doing the Buzzard's Roost here.
Okay. Which one's which again? You told me.
So this is the French oak toasted bourbon, and then this is the cask strength rye.
Okay.
Kimmy P's in the house and says he can't find rare breed. I want to speak to that real quick before we get into this. So Wild Turkey is getting hit hard with the glass shortage, from what I've heard, and all sources seem to verify this. So things are like coming out in waves and spurts, and sometimes we'll have stuff that like we'll go months without rare breed, and then like we went like 3 months and I didn't see rare breed at all. And then all of a sudden I saw rare breed everywhere. And then it goes away again. It's not that the whiskey is allocated or that they're running out of supply or anything like that. It's just they don't have glass right now, which is also what's happening with Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. It's not allocated. They just don't have as much glass as they need to get the distribution out that they normally have. So at some point that will go away, but we're just waiting on that to happen. So
also Mike James says sipping on some Sagamore double oak and Sagamore cask strength rye. I want some of that double oak.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's funny. I went to Total Wine to get some and they were out, and that was like the first time I've been there in months that they were out of it.
Yeah.
So I got to go back and pick up another bottle.
Yeah.
So
all right,
let's get into Buzzard's Roost. Buzzard's Roost French oak.
Okay.
Toasted French oak straight bourbon whiskey, 105 proof. I'm gonna assume 4 years. Shout out to Montana Thrasher in the house.
Oh, nice.
All right. I would not be surprised if this was MGP. It doesn't smell crafty on the nose at all.
What do you mean when you say crafty?
Like kind of like woody, funky.
Oh, like a craft store?
Kind of like farmy.
Oh.
Like kind of like hay, more of like a hay note. It smells really good on the nose.
It smells like whiskey. Like it does.
And she's back.
I just like.
It comes full circle.
If it does, it does. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Can we drink it?
So on the nose, what I'm getting here is just like a good solid general bourbon sweetness. Yep. It's got a little bit of depth from that French oak that you get. Like a lot of French oak products will have like a little bit of like a pancakes and syrup type of vibe to them, or that's kind of what they throw at me. That's not heavy on this, but it is there in the background. Experienced whiskey old guy. Barry is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you in here. All right, let's get into the palate on this Buzzard's Roost toasted French oak bourbon.
Ooh, it tastes good.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's got like quite a kick at the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like kind of sweet throughout.
Here, and then it bumps up a level.
It's kind of sweet throughout though, but not super sweet.
Yeah.
And then it kicks up at the end.
Yeah. The toasted French oak is really bringing a lot of depth and richness to an otherwise kind of bright, fruity flavor profile.
Fruity, yeah. I'd say fruity.
Dieter Lang's in the house. Cheers. Thanks for joining. Wow. Yeah. Let's go in for one more sip on this before we start speaking to it too much.
It's good. I'm getting some cherry. Like it kind of tastes like cherry, like maraschino cherries.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that. There's some pancakes and syrup, or even like a waffle. You know how like waffles are like a little bit, like pancakes are, I feel like, are more buttery.
I love a good waffle.
Waffles are like a little bit more dry.
Except not when you
Well,
get
when
the
you put
butter,
the butter
in the little.
But this doesn't have the butter.
Okay. The best part.
Zachy Zykin's in the house. I almost had a heart attack thinking Jackie Zykin had dropped into the chat. Wow, that one will throw you for a loop. Yeah, so this is
JG
good.
just poured some rare breed in honor of my awesome professional bottle guessing skills.
There you go.
That was strategic.
So I would say for this Buzzard's Roost, the toasted French oak bourbon, if you've had Blue Notes Crossroads, that's 100 proof, it's in that similar vein.
Okay.
Like you're getting a lot of that same type of vibe. And the thing about this to me is that it's not as dark as the Blue Note Crossroads.
Oh, thank
Ryan,
you, Ryan.
Oravets, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate how I don't get caught up in the brand hype. That's because I don't remember it.
Yeah. Well, and you don't, honestly, you don't care about the hype.
I don't.
And I can get caught up in it. I do have some tater tendencies, but I try to fight against those as much as I can through blind tastings. And we'll, that'll be all part of what we talk about when we talk about the genesis of the channel and where we have devolved, not devolved.
We're growing.
We've
growing.
We've changed.
We've
Yeah. not changed who we are, but like we've changed our approach to the channel a little bit.
Yeah.
Mike Lawson is here. Look out, Fred Minnick. No, definitely not coming for Fred.
But thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So what's your take on this? I don't know the price of this stuff 100% for sure. I looked on the Buzzard's Roost website. I couldn't find a ton of information as far as whether it was sourced, whether it was their own stuff. But let's just call it about $50 a bottle.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John, so much, man. All right.
All y'all are entered in the giveaway. All y'all.
Yes. And we'll talk about the giveaway in a minute. So Buzzard's Roost, let's just call it $50. It's only available in 4 states, so we're not going to get into all that. But let's not even talk to the price. It's only available in a few states. It's going to cost what it costs.
Thank you, Will.
But thanks so much, man.
I'm giving it a thumbs up. It's good. It's
thumbs
not
up across the board.
Yeah, like it's good.
Yeah.
It's not off-putting in any way, and actually the smell is opening up for me.
Yeah, it
more,
is.
And I'm getting a little more like kind of log cabin-y.
Yeah. It's getting more syrupy, more log cabin.
So I like it. I think it's good. I just am really excited to try the rye, to be honest with you.
I'd give it a thumbs up across the board as well. I like it a lot. The experience is really nice. It does taste like young whiskey that's been finished.
I have to highlight
but
this
not
from Cask.
Yeah. It does taste like young whiskey that's had some finishing done to it, but not to hide flaws in the whiskey because the finishing isn't that heavy-handed. It is nicely balanced.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in a state, I think it's Kentucky, Ohio. Oh man, I looked it up. It's right here on my phone.
Also, Bill just said he poured some Sagamore Spirit Double Oak for him and his wife. It's one of her favorites too. She's a smart lady.
Yes, she is. So Kentucky, Massachusetts, Ohio, and New Mexico. So that's Buzzard's Roost.
Thank you, Bev. She likes it when we say all y'all. I say it in jest because I grew up in Memphis, but Josh is more Southern than I am. So I like to exaggerate my Southernness and say, all y'all, y'all come back now, you hear?
Let's talk about how Southern I can be sometimes.
I can be.
Let's talk about it.
It's cute.
So these Buzzard's Roost whiskeys are available in Kentucky, Ohio. I just said it.
I'm sorry, I distracted
Kentucky,
you.
Ohio, New Mexico, and Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
So when I say the state name Massachusetts, I have to remember the chew part of it, the Massachusetts, because when I was younger, like all the way up and through high school, I said Massachusetts.
No, you didn't.
I did. Massachusetts.
And no one corrected you?
No. Nobody did.
Oh my gosh, Josh.
No, I said Massachusetts.
If I would have known that, I might not have married you.
But yeah, now I say Massachusetts. So
okay, good for you.
I fixed it,
all
but
right.
There was a lot of years where it was a little bit out of whack there. So it is what it is.
April said that's a random assortment of states. I was just thinking that too, April.
It really is. Like, how do you pick?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, let's get into this Cask Strength Rye. So we're 115 proof.
Okay.
I mean, assuming these are 4 years old because they both say straight, and this does say aged at least 4 years. And this was a gold medal winner at San Francisco. Which at San Francisco, that doesn't mean a whole lot. So we'll see if we give it a gold medal or not. So
Because we are professional.
Yeah, because we're handing out medals here.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Let me get Mike in here for the giveaway, and then I'll.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Zachy said this is not Jackie.
That's okay.
All Y'all works all the way up in southern Indiana. That's true. I feel like All Y'all has a lot of range.
Mm-hmm. It does.
And it's just, I mean, you can say it anywhere. It's fun to say.
It is fun.
Say it now.
Yeah.
Right there in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
Just let an All Y'all rip.
It's fun.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get into this 115 proof cask strength whiskey.
Okay.
Rye whiskey. It definitely smells like rye on the nose.
What? It smells like something that I can't think of.
So when I smell this, the best way I can describe it, the hint to me that I'm getting a rye on the nose, and I'm so mad in Matt Madness that I missed rye on the nose on sample C. My head was telling me rye. My heart was telling me rye. My nose was telling me rye. But my head, I talked myself out of it.
And that's what you can't do.
And there were a couple times, there were 2 occasions in Matt Madness where I talked myself out of points. And we'll talk about it. This right here
smells like bacon.
Okay. There's like a little bit of like a salty, savory note in there. But to me, when I smell rye, I get like a household cleaner product smell. Not in a bad way, almost like a faint lemon pledge type of smell. And it's a combination of like the lemon, citrus, oak, I think, that comes across that way to me. Yeah. This is clear my nose out there.
You want to try it?
In Matt Madness, I had a cup of coffee beans that I'd clear my nose out between rounds, and that helped a lot.
I didn't end up using those coffee beans at all. I should have.
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay. On the nose, I'm getting just straight up down the middle of the home plate rye. A little bit citrusy, a little bit lemony. Definitely some like lemon honey tea.
You're just saying that because you think it's a rye. Or because
I know it's a rye, but that's what I'm getting. So let's get into the palate and see what we're working with.
Oh.
She's going to like this.
This is good.
Boy, it really swells up with flavor right there on the mid palate. Almost like it's really like front to mid palate. There's not as much on the back end.
Sweeter than I expected it to be for a rye.
It's really sweet. It's really candy sweet, almost like a lemon drop.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it though. I really like this.
Yeah, it's got a very lemon drop or lemon head. Is what are they called? Lemon heads. It's very lemon head sweet, but not quite so tart.
Yeah.
It's tempered a little bit with the oak.
Yeah. But then there's some really pepperiness in the back.
Yeah, it's really good. One more sip. We'll give some ratings on this.
I already took another sip. Can I take a third sip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. For 115 proof, that drink's really nice.
It does.
Yeah, a little bit of pepper tingle on the back end from the rye spice.
Yep.
That's really nice.
I'm a fan.
I like that.
I give this thumbs up all around, but I have a preference to this over the first one.
I would give this thumbs up across the board as well, and I do prefer the rye to the bourbon. If I were in one of those 4 random states, I would 100% buy the rye.
Oh, thank you, Dieter.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, the rye is really good.
Okay, so great content, much appreciated, and building community, which is what we want. Yeah, we honestly feel lucky to be a part of this community, to be quite honest with you.
That y'all let us be a part of this community.
Yeah.
That all y'all let us be a part of this community.
Just by tuning in. Just plain Shane said he's going to crack open a Riverset rye, which we need to get a bottle of that. It's out of Memphis, the same Blue Note BR Distilling.
And I don't know. He said, just plain Shane said he's a Tennessean.
Yeah.
I don't know where in Tennessee.
I think Dixon, right? John said we didn't need the coffee beans. You still came in second to Josh. You did great. Aww. She did do great. I was really proud of her performance.
I just didn't want to look like a total fool, and I don't think I did, so I'm fine. I'm happy with it.
All right, so shout out to Buzzard's Roost for sending us these. If you're in those states, I'm buying the rye.
I'm buying the rye too.
I'm probably trying the bourbon if they have it in a bar or something, but I'm a buy on the rye for sure. This is really good. It might be sourced MGP. If it's their own stuff, then that's even more remarkable. But it's really good. And the guy, also, I gotta say, the guy that is at the helm at Buzzard's Roost has an amazing haircut. Like,
oh really?
He looks like the type of guy that would name his company Buzzard's Roost.
Okay.
Like, he looks like a character. I want to sit down and have drinks with him.
So nice.
I want to go wherever he's at. Like, let's get together. Let's have some drinks and talk. So it'll be a lot of fun. All right. let's get into our giveaway.
Okay.
We got a ton of entries. I know you guys don't even, we've mentioned it, but what does Bev say?
I know, Bev. That was a tactical error on my part. I was just so antsy to put a funny meme out there that I picked the wrong one, and I didn't even remember that it was a true false question. So that was me just being nervous, and I just wanted to have a funny meme.
Yeah.
So that was my bad.
James Michael says James and Fallon in the house. Welcome aboard. And then wow, April Brown drops a huge super chat.
You, April.
Wow. All right, we need to get into you guys picking some pours for us, and we also
let me put up the banner for the giveaway so people can know what we're.
So this is going to be standard giveaway for us. Every $5 gets you an entry, and we'll put together a blind flight kit for you. That's going to be really interesting, really informative. Maybe will help curb some of your FOMO. Maybe you might make some of your FOMO worse if you find that you really like something allocated in there. But we will actually be in contact. So if you're catching the rewatch on this, or if you're watching right now and you tap out before the end, skip to the last 10 minutes of the live stream, which will be our time in Central, about 9:50. Should be ballpark. Go there and then see if you won, and then email us at stuffandwhiskey@gmail.com. And we will begin a communication line. I'm the one that puts together the blind flights of our channel assignments from the both of us. I'm the blind flight putter together. So I will get in contact with you, or you'll get in contact with me, and then I'll respond, and we'll start putting together a blind flight for you based on a couple of allocated products. So I'm going to ask you what allocated products you haven't tried that you want to try, or maybe you have tried them and you want to just try them inside of a blind flight. And I will put that together for you. We're talking about,
Josh loves to do this. So he by doing this giveaway, this is just Josh being able to have some fun.
And I'll send you a list of the bottles that are available, but you're going to get your Weller Full Proof, Weller 107, Weller 12 year, Weller Special, all the Wellers that are in that core range. E.H. Taylor Small Batch, Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare Store Picks, all that stuff. We got the Blue Run High Rye. We got our hands on an Elijah Craig toasted barrel since the last time we live streamed, so that could be part of it. We can do what else do we have here? We've got some Jack Daniel's barrel proof, all kinds of stuff. Grounds for disqualification. Get it? Grounds.
Touche.
I love it. Kathy says Buzzard's Roost has a peated barrel rye. I am very interested in trying that. So they asked us what was of interest, and I responded with a few things, and they sent us those too. But if we are ever around, honestly, I would probably buy the peated barrel rye over.
Well, we need to try it first.
Yeah.
Because that rye was pretty good.
Yeah, that rye was good. All right. So if you want in.
Oh, Fallon wants to know where the stairs lead to in the back. Which stairs?
Over there.
Oh, over there? So we live in a split level. Yeah. So that goes down to our front door.
We live in we bought a 1963 split level, and we say it's like kind of old and kind of quirky like us.
Yeah.
Like it's not old enough to be cool, and it's also
it's not quirky enough to be cool either.
Right. So it's like
it's like us.
It's very much us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us what we're drinking, guys. We're gonna get into the channel recap over the last year. And if you guys have any questions about the channel, get those queued up, and Erin will star them, and then we'll come back and kind of answer Q&A style. On channel questions, but literally open books. If you have any questions about the way things go over here, just hit us with it.
Yeah.
Front facing as far as episodes, behind the scenes stuff, whatever, we're game to talk about it all. But first, you can either go down to the video description and see what's available in the American whiskeys, or I'll just tell you, of the American whiskeys that we have available, you guys have to vote in chat what you want us to drink.
How are we going to tell who?
We're just going to see if there's an overwhelming majority in chat. Okay. So we've got 4-gate Brrye. We've got 4-gate single barrel, 6-year cask strength, toasted. So 4-gate Brrye, 4-gate toasted, Bardstown Discovery Series 7, or Old Carter Bourbon batch number 10.
All right.
So let us know in the chat what we should be drinking for us to talk about the first year of Stuff and Whiskey on YouTube.
Stuff and Whiskey.
Bruce Willoughby's here. What is up, man? Thanks for joining in.
Yes, thank you.
All right, again, this is 4-Gate Brrye, 4-Gate Toasted, Bardstown Discovery Series 7, or Old Carter Batch number 10.
Greg says Old Carter, Bardstown 7 is one.
All right.
4-Gate. Oh, man, we're getting all.
We've got some splits. I would do a poll, but we don't know how to do a poll.
Yeah. Hold on. I saw some. Okay, we got some 4-Gate Toasted.
Okay, so I've seen 2 votes for Bardstown 7, and then I've seen 2 votes for 4-Gate Toasted, I believe. Scroll down.
Doug Tucker says a few of them are older than my house, and they're definitely quirky and cool.
Yeah.
Bardstown 7.
Bardstown 7. There's some Old Carters coming in. 4-Gate Toasted. Old Carter. This might be split. We might actually have to run a randomizer.
4-Gate Toasted. 4-Gate Toasted. 4-Gate Toasted. Oh.
4-Gate Toasted might be the runaway here. Old Carter's making a comeback.
Bill says he abstains since some of the samples
are from Bill.
Fair enough. Toasted.
I think the Toasted might be winning this.
Toasted.
I think the Toasted's it.
Okay.
I'm going to call it now. 4-Gate Toasted. I was kind of slightly hoping it would be the Old Carter, which I think is the second place winner here, but we're going to go 4-Gate Toasted. So shout out to Bill Kavanaugh in the chat for sending this sample. Make sure I'm picking the right one. So this is a 4-Gate.
Hold on. I have to show this. This is not a question. On the next round of Matt Madness, have somebody dress in black and a hockey mask randomly walk around in the hallway.
Yes.
So that hallway goes back to where the bedrooms are.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
And it's creaky too. So it'll be kind of creaky and spooky.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So this is a 4-Gate 6-year single barrel cask strength, 126.8 proof, toasted. This is cask number 2, bottle number 68.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Toasted barrel. So what does the toasted barrel do again to the flavor? Just makes it more
just get a little bit more interaction with the oak. It's aged and then it's taken out and then put in another one. So yeah, shout out to Bill for this. Hey, cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
For all your hard work this past year on the channel.
You too.
Cheers to you guys for being a part of this with us.
There would be no channel without you guys.
And letting us be a part of this with you.
Yeah.
There's been a lot that's happened over this past year in the channel, and like we honestly, I'm gonna get emotional if I start talking about it too much. Like it's really been something special to be a part of. So we cannot thank you guys enough. I'll keep that over here in case I need it. I'm getting a little.
Josh is a softie, and I love it.
I have to hit mute. So cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
4-Gate Toasted. Never had any 4-Gate before, other than like a small sample from Berry Hawk. Smells really good.
I got a little stinky feet on it, and I ain't mad at it.
I can get some stinky feet on the nose, yeah.
It tastes good.
Ooh, it smells really good. It smells really rich.
It kind of tastes rich, like syrupy rich, but not super sweet though. Ooh. Bev said that she's so glad she found this channel and that she adopted you, and by proxy me.
Yes.
I did see one question.
I like Aiden's comment.
Oh, hold on. Let me
hang on. Can we speak to this real quick before we start to enjoy it? Because people might want a little bit of a capsule review on this. This has gravity on the palate. It does. Very heavy on the tongue in a way that not many pours are.
Yeah.
I can think of a handful of pours that have like this type of gravity on the tongue. The flavor is honestly not as sweet. Like
not
you
as
said,
sweet as I thought it would be.
As I thought it would be. It is a tempered sweetness, and the toasted barrel aspect of it is bringing in a lot of dark flavors that go along with it. It kind of reminds me of like the darkness that you would get on something like an Elijah Craig barrel proof, but there's a little bit more sweetness there. Almost in the vein of like a lot of caramel and some red fruit are kind of mixing in above that toastedness. It's really good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Oh, Keenan, thank you.
We'll get you in the giveaway, man.
Yeah.
Keenan Loonman, thank you so much.
I did have a question up there. You guys, if you have any questions about the channel or anything, ask us. And actually, there's a question. It was more of a personal question, but we will answer that as well.
Yeah, personal questions are fine too, because we are part of the channel. So
Aiden, okay, so Thank you, Mama P, for coming to my rescue.
Mama P.
Aiden said he couldn't hear us because my shirt was so loud.
Yeah.
And Bev said that he needs to leave my shirt alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. But it's okay, Aiden. I still like you, boo. Okay, so Mark asks that I say I write for a living. What do I write? Just curious. So I am in content marketing, which means essentially right now I'm writing a lot of sales copy for my company. And then I also do website copywriting on the side. I'm working on a project now where me and a designer friend are helping rebrand a functional medicine doctor's website. So I work on the copy for that and she does the design part. So it's fun. Yeah, that's what
She's
I do.
super smart.
No, not so much.
Yeah. She's the brains and the beauty behind the channel.
No.
I'm just the work grunt that sets up the lights.
I mean, you are the work grunt, but you are the brains and beauty too.
No.
I mean, you're Rick Grimes. Come on, dude.
James asks, how do we prevent the dribble from the pour? I usually add some paper towels to that. Yeah, you almost have to.
Yeah.
It's Matt Porter's long pour methodology works pretty well if you can master that.
If you can master that, but Josh cannot.
I cannot. I make a mess all the time if I try that. Yeah, it's just one of those inevitable things. I usually do like from being into beer like 10, 15 years ago.
Did you tilt
I
the
usually
glass?
do like a little angle and pour in and then just kind of like use the glass to kind of catch the drip if I can.
Oh, JG wants to know a hint for our bird last name.
Oh.
I mean, we can say it. I feel like it's out there.
It starts with the same as your last name. We'll say that. Plain Shane says perfect duo at Stuff and Whiskey. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's funny the balance that has come from the channel because when we started this, like let's get into that. Let's get into the channel recap.
Okay.
Like why do we even start this thing in the first place?
We just wanted to have fun together.
Yeah, we had early in our dating time, we had went to a grand opening of Proper Sake Company here in Nashville.
Is it still around?
I don't even know. And Erin's friend had her take some photos, like iPhone photos.
My friend at the time was a blogger, and so she was out of town and got asked to review this company that was opening, and she was out of town, so she asked me to go take photos for her.
Yeah.
At it.
Yep. And so I went along, and we were both photographers, and we worked on that project together, and it was a ton of fun. It was so fun to be able to do a creative project with a partner. That's not something I'd ever experienced before. And so I just really liked that enough that I was like, man, we got to find a way to do something creative together. Yeah. And that was like, we spent years looking for something, and we would sit around sipping whiskey and talking about what we could do together. For a creative outlet. And then we lived downtown, and we were within walking distance. We did not have many whiskey bottles, but I'd been drinking whiskey since college. I went to college at Western Kentucky in Bowling Green, and like whiskey was just part of the gig. You just had it there. Star James Michaels, I'll answer that. Okay. And then so I'd always been into it, but I never really got nerdy into it because a lot of my buddies started doing a lot of hunting in the early teens, and I just wasn't going to go stand in lines, and I had better things to do, had other things to do, I should say. It just was not of interest to me at that point in time. And so we decided I've been wanting to learn video editing. So we actually started the channel without me having a clue about video editing. And my friend, who is a videographer that's worked with me on weddings, he can't, JG. He's shooting his shots.
I love it.
And then I'm actually enjoying the guesses. So he came over and taught me video editing, and I still barely know what I'm doing. Yeah. But it was so much fun.
Kidding.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a rise out of you.
It was so much fun, like learning that aspect. And then, we started shooting because I was doing a lot of blinds. And I really enjoyed watching blinds on WhiskeyTube. I had found the WhiskeyTube community, and I really, really enjoyed that. I got a fellow Hilltopper in the house, Bruce. What's up, man? But yeah, I was really enjoying doing blinds, and I think I've said this on a past live, but I shot a video, just me by myself, and I was like, this is not happening. Yeah. Nope. I'm not doing a channel by myself. And huge shout out to anybody that does a channel by themselves. It's got to be so hard. I love having somebody to be able to bounce off of. But yeah, it was, we started down that path and we're like, you know what? We feel like blinds are informative and I would like here at the house, I would pour myself something and I would taste it and I would give it to Erin and she would try it.
Yeah.
And like, she wouldn't even like, she didn't know what she was drinking. And I would just be like, what do you think about that? And she would tell me something like, oh, it smells like, you know, an old school book or something. Yeah. And then, you know, I was like, you come up with some great notes. One of my favorites, and some of this won't make sense to some of you guys, but one of my things was like, this tastes like an Enneagram 9 who's had a really rough day. Yeah. Like it was kind of chill, but it was also had a little bit of kind edge of pissed to it. A little bit. Yeah. If you're into the Enneagram, you know what I'm talking about. But like that's what I got. Yeah. And so I was like, these tasting notes are gold. And I don't know how it came about, but I was watching some Whiskey Tube stuff, and Erin was like, you know, we were like, let's try it, let's do it. Yeah. And Bev Porter pulled the smells like a pink eraser. We'll get into that in the Matt Madness recap. But you pulled out a note that Matt was like, yep, that's there. You said pink eraser. I just say what I think. Like because I don't know like what I'm supposed to say. So I just say what comes to my brain. Yeah. And the thing is too, that like when we're sitting around and we're hanging out with friends who come over, like we're not getting super analytical about pours. Like we're not spending, you know, 3 hours, like really nosing a glass and pulling out a lot of detailed tasting notes. JG. And I will say, you might have a winner on your hands. I will say one of the things that like, Jason is amazing at tasting notes. Matt is amazing at tasting notes. It's Bourbon Night, amazing at tasting notes. Whiskey Tribe, like all these channels do that so well that we wanted to bring something that was really true to us. Yeah. And we didn't want to try to be professionals. We wanted to be, you know, as we are. Like, you know, we try to just be down to earth, kind of regular people. And we hoped at least that would bring some value to the Whiskey Tube space, that people would connect to it. So we started the channel with that in mind, and we did a lot of work, a lot of filming, a lot of planning, a lot of practicing, which is where all those bloopers came from for our first video. None of those videos ever made it into a full like actual video. Those were all our practice videos. Yep. Because we weren't in front of the camera. We were always behind the camera. So being in front of the camera was and still is kind of weird, to be honest. Yeah, it is. Because like we're not center of attention type of people. Like it's just that's not where we're comfortable. But we do feel like the information that we bring to the table and the conversations that we bring to the table are worth having, which is why we produce content or at least in the beginning. That's why. Yeah. And then people actually started watching. Like you guys actually started watching, and it was really interesting. People were like asking for merch. People were asking for a Patreon. People were asking like they wanted to encourage us, and people wanted to be a part of the channel, which is so nice. Yeah. Like it was encouraging. So we started toying with the idea of merch. We bought stuffandwhiskey.com. Bruce Willoughby with the super chat. Thank you so much. We'll get you in on the giveaway. We bought the website like long before we actually had merch. Yeah. Patrick also, Hughes in the house. I think we need to let Jay know that he can stop. Yeah, you've already hit it. You've hit the nail on the head, my friend. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. But you got to go back about eight or 12 guesses. Yeah, maybe 8, maybe 6 or 8. But so we bought the domain name for a shop, and we didn't have any merch design yet because I told Erin she had to do that. I'm not a designer. I'm an editor, and I actually did go to college for graphic design, believe it or not. But then in my last semester, I realized I didn't want to do that for other people. I liked doing it for myself, but I didn't want to do it for other people. And so I added a minor in fashion, but my degree is in communications with a specialization in graphic design and a minor in fashion, which is so random, but hey, it works. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mark. Mark Boyer's in here. I got you. Thank you so much, man. We'll get you in there. So yeah, we bought the domain name. We had some viewership, and does that say low battery already? Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a problem, because that's what we're tracking super chats on. I don't have a plug for that. We're going to get my computer. Okay. let me keep going.
Yeah.
We'll get Thomas Hobbs in there.
And also ask that you have
this spreadsheet will carry over because it's on Google Sheets.
James asked your question.
Yeah. Let me
finish your story.
Yeah. So we started up. Man, that battery is dying.
Just go.
Okay. It was full charge. So we started up, and the Patreon thing, like Greg Johnson jumped on, Nashville Bourbon Social Club guy, local friend Eric David Gunderson. Like we had a lot of local support in the beginning, and then it just really started growing. And I think what really struck us pretty early on was the community, being able to be a part of it. Like we said, we're the faces on the screen, but being able to, honestly, we feel like we're a part of this with you guys. So being able to be a part of this thing is so fun for us, and it's so encouraging for us. And it's a way to enjoy whiskey outside of like Facebook groups, which can oftentimes be negative, or social media. Like, for instance, like Instagram can be a little bit like, it can be a little bit look at me sometimes. And YouTube really felt like more of a conversational platform where we could get longer form ideas out and talk about some of the stuff going on in the community. So we really, really did appreciate that. And YW, we're going to get around to that. Jason doesn't have a thing in the world to hang his head about. That man is a tasting legend, probably has the best palate on Whiskey Tube.
Yes.
To be honest. And that's no slight to anybody else, but there may be other people that are as good as Jason, but nobody's better than Jason as far as when it comes to a whiskey tasting palate. Like he is a legend. I mean, any day I'd put Fred Minnick is like the most acclaimed whiskey taster, but I'd put Jason right there with him all day long.
Okay. Have you finished your story yet?
So anyway, well, I was just saying the community really has become what this channel, we didn't start it with that in mind, but it has changed into being a community thing.
Yes.
And that never got highlighted more than when I'd say the biggest highlight of the channel is the charity fundraiser. Like the way that the community rallied around that cause was so good. And we're so looking forward to this year, but it just meant so much for you guys to be a part of that. And I think I've said this before on the recap after the charity fundraiser, but like I bawled after that was over with. Cause I don't feel like I've ever done anything that good that made that big of an impact in my life. And I was just a small part of that. You were just a small part of that. It really could not have happened without the community.
We're a huge part of that. Yeah.
And that really, we were like, okay, if you guys are going to watch, we're going to do something with it. That really opened our eyes. And then from there, we really shifted a lot of our Patreon stuff over to more community focused endeavors.
Yep.
Because when you have a channel, like we put a lot of work and time into producing videos, and then we have channels like Jason ask us to come on and do things. And we have channels like Matt that ask us to come on and do things. And they send us flights, and we hop on their channel, and we get to do these cool flights and try these cool whiskeys with these cool people.
Yeah.
And we thought, what if we did that instead of doing like barrel picks and all that stuff? Like, what if we just had people who are patrons come and be part of the community and part of the experience, just like we're getting to do with some of these bigger channels.
Yep.
And so we kind of shifted everything over to like bonus content, connecting with the community, giving people information that we glean through blind tastings, and then getting involved in the channel. And so we really love being able to do that stuff. And it's become one of our absolute favorite things is just hopping on these live streams with the patrons and hopping on these live streams with you guys and just having a good time.
I remember our first live stream. I had never done a live stream before. I still don't honestly watch a lot of Whiskey Tube. And so the YouTube content I was watching isn't the kind of content that lends itself to much live streaming. And I had never even seen a live stream. And then we did our first one. And I had I would call it like equated to a runner's high after that night. I was like, that was so fun. I want to do that again. Yeah. Like I am an early to bed type of girl, but I was wired. I was up late. It was like the community aspect of it. I didn't know that was as strong as it is. And that has been like, that was a game changer for me. I loved it.
Yeah. So that's really kind of the end. And it really peaked. Like it really became clear with the fundraiser. But since then, we've geared everything that we do towards community and making sure that we're trying to provide value and we're trying to provide informative content. We're trying to start good conversations and hopefully try to make people think about their approach to whiskey rather than just saying that something's amazing and telling you you should go buy it. Like we want to really try to make people think about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think one of my favorite videos that we did that nobody ever watched was the fact that you can't trust our opinions on whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
You can't trust anybody's opinion. Yeah. You really have to try it yourself. But you know, that was one of our early videos. Maybe we'll revisit that at some point because I think it's a good message. But we really do have a lot of fun with this channel, and you guys watching are the reason for that. So we can't thank you enough. And I did see somebody ask when the when the charity fundraiser was for this year. It's gonna be in October, on October the 9th, I believe it is. It's a Sunday. We try to do it as close to October the 10th as possible because that's World Mental Health Day.
World Mental Health Day. So yeah, we'll try to. It'll happen every October, and then we'll get it as close. Whatever Sunday is the closest to October 10th is when it will end up being.
Right. And thanks, James, for the kind words from you and Fallon. And yes, I agree with YW. Jason's videos are awesome. I love the history as well. I just could not, like, Jason's already doing that so perfectly. There's no reason for me or you to try to study up and try to present the history. Yeah. Like, we just want to hang out and have fun. Yeah. So, and I realize for Jason that is fun, and it's fun for me to watch it. Yeah. But he kills it. Like, there's nobody that does it better than he does. So, James Michael, you can highlight that comment. Okay. Ask what I do for a living. I sit behind a computer and do AutoCAD all day. So, I drive for UPS. I'm a driver. I've done package car for 9 years, and then I transferred. Which is the
delivery driver. Most people that aren't in driving don't know what package car is. Oh, I didn't know. He was a delivery, like a UPS man, like that would come to houses. But now, and I'm
still a UPS man, but I drive the tractor trailers. Right now, I go back and forth to Lexington Monday through Friday. So it's just go up there, come back. I basically get paid to do what I did when I was a teenager, which is drive around and listen to music and all that stuff. So I consume a lot of Whiskey Tube content. I listen to a lot of live streams on rewatch as I'm driving. And then I also listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of books on tape, all kinds of stuff. I just kind of keep myself entertained and call family and keep up with them and call friends. And it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time. I like driving. So yeah, content marketing writer and truck driver. Yep. And then we do the channel. We volunteer some time for some causes that are important to us as well. So we stay pretty busy. Yep. We don't have a ton of margin in the schedule. No. But we kind of like it that way. But it does get tiring sometimes. And sometimes we just have to take a weekend off and relax. Yeah. Timothy B's in the house. Welcome. Hi from Cincinnati. I've driven up to Cincinnati before for UPS. But we've never visited Cincinnati. We were talking about taking a trip up there.
We've had a few ideas for places to go visit.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati.
We got a list.
I've been to Cincinnati before. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's it. If you guys have any channel questions from Q&A channel behind the scenes or whatever,
pop them in the chat.
Feel free to ask them. We're getting ready to move on to the next pour here soon.
Oh, okay. I'm not drinking a lot tonight.
Mike James is in the house and dropping a big super chat. Wow. Thank you, man. Wow. You guys.
Let me get,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you all. This is
DC asked a really good question. He said, in the UPS package truck days, did I ever hear a package gurgle? I could not have cared less. And I promise you, there's not a soul in that company who cares about what's inside that box. If you're unloading a truck, you're expected to move 1,000 packages an hour. And if you're a delivery driver, like I was doing 160 stops plus pickups a day, you don't have time to worry about that stuff. The only time that you would hear a gurgle and if it had like 21 plus adult signature required and you knew it was somebody getting a wine shipment or something, and you knew you had to get somebody to answer the door and check ID, it was such a pain. I'd much rather deliver a gurgling package to, somebody that doesn't have to sign for it because everything's already been vetted from responsible adults living their life, which, it's personal opinion, but.
All right. Paula has a question. I'm going to let you take this one.
Yep. Any pets? I know you said kids one time. How do you schedule filming with kids? Wow. Okay. That's a lot to unpack there. So we don't have any pets currently.
No.
I've had dogs. I've had cats. I'm working on her. I'm getting a dog.
I'm warming up to the idea of a dog because I'm home all day by myself. So it'd be nice to have a little buddy.
Yeah. I've had several dogs. I've had a few cats. I've had all kinds of stuff.
So no pets currently.
But no pets currently. I really want something like big and fluffy, like a big teddy bear, like a Bernedoodle or something like that.
That's what I want too. The dog I had previously was a boxer lab mix, and he was like tall and skinny, but 70 pounds, and he was adorable.
I'll say we don't do good with shedding, so I realize like I would love to do the pound thing, but that's really difficult. I actually really want a French bulldog a lot, and my sister has one, and I love that little thing. But yeah, it's the shedding. The shedding is what gets to me. So I'm currently like leading into Matt Madness. I've been on Flonase and Allegra.
Yeah, we both have been dealing with allergies.
We'll get into all that here in a minute when we get into the Matt Madness recap. But as far as kids, yep, I have a kid. We were both previously married when we were in our 20s. And I'm only going to speak for me. I was young and dumb, and, have a kid out of that, she is adorable, and have a really good co-parenting relationship with my ex. And it's so like, could not ask for more as far as that kid goes. Yeah. But we have her half the time. So when we have her, we don't film. And when we have her, we don't film. Right. And when we don't have her, we do film.
Hence why we say we batch film a lot. Yeah. So because we have to film on the weekends, we don't have her. Right. So we film months of content over a couple weekends.
Yeah. And when we do have her, I mean, we only have her half the time. So we really want to maximize our time with her. Yeah. And so we take that family time, which honestly helps a lot with work-life balance with the channel, so that we don't overdo it, because it's easy. It's easy for me, at least, to get overly involved. Yeah. And really want to just keep pushing, because I really like that. Yeah. I really like to push myself. So hold on. Mike says, I'll never use FedEx. Had a bottle sent to me and they took 2 days longer to deliver and caused cork to pop. Yeah. It's funny. I say working in UPS, you honestly just cannot. I don't know how anything gets anywhere without being broken. Yeah. I literally don't. USPS, FedEx, UPS, I literally don't know. They just want you to move so much volume, and there's so many packages going through the system. It really comes down to packaging. Now, I do think UPS has the best tracking, and I think that we are committed to customer service. I saw Matt's comment. I got allergies, man.
Yeah. Allergies are strong in Nashville right now.
I was doing Flonase and Allegra D, but the decongestant was drying me out too much, and I actually had to switch to a non-D,
just regular Allegra, yeah,
so that I wasn't like so dried out, because like 90 proof whiskey was coming across like razor blades in my nose. I had a lot of problems leading up to Matt Madness, but yeah, it was something else.
All right, we have some questions.
All right.
I'll this one.
Oh, this is a good one. So YW asked if we've ever considered simplifying our scoring system. I never get the whole real world consumer thing, even with the explanation. You know what? We have, and we've had some people talk about that. And I feel like any balls dropped in that realm are probably on us for not explaining it well enough. Because like we can't just, in every episode, we can't
fully
explain the whole system. And we really hope that people tuning in kind of catch on over time. But that is a very fair question. Pardon me. That's a very fair question. The way we look at it is, the reason we score the way we do is because those metrics matter to us. The retail part of the equation, how much something costs, is it available or not? Those matter to us. Yeah. And then, would we buy it again or not? That matters to us. And
we're spending our money on it. Would we spend our money on it again?
Quite honestly, that is the most important thing of the thing. It just so happens that as we were going over how we would score things and talking about the things that are important to us, we kind of noticed that most things kind of gravitated towards the middle, like a bell curve in the scoring. And so it really takes being exceptionally good on the palate and being somewhat available and well priced to score really high. And those are the products we find ourselves really enjoying the most and reaching for more often than not.
Yeah.
We lost a starred question in there.
That was the one you just answered. I took it away.
No, James Fallon asked one too. Jordan asked, we'll get around to Jordan's question. We lost it. We had three in there.
No, there were two.
Where was the one
just
from? Okay.
Answer this one.
So
I'll find it.
A lot of content, more often than not, the hype bottle loses the blind. What is the hype bottle that has blown you guys away? Man, that's a good question. I guess it depends on.
We missed this.
Yeah. I guess it really depends on what you consider to be a hyped bottle. A lot of the Weller Buffalo Trace stuff doesn't really stand out to us. It's really fruity sweet. It lacks a little bit of the depth I want in bourbon. It's usually overly sweet for Erin.
What was something hyped? Is Sagamore Spirit hyped up or no?
No.
Oh, I really like that one.
I would say so far, like the things that have really impressed me blind are like the crazy unobtainium stuff. Like William LaRue has impressed. Booker's Rye has impressed. King of Kentucky has impressed. Some of that's been tried on the channel. Some of it's just been tried in our personal time. Those are bottles that are going for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on secondary. But like a lot of the stuff, here lately Weller Foolproof's been popping up, and it's really been impressing me in the nosing category a lot. Some of the Weller Foolproof picks that we've gotten our hands on. But yeah, nothing that we'd really pay above and beyond for.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? 1792 12-year really did impress us a lot. We like that one a lot. We said it was like a weighted blanket on your tongue.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
That was really nice.
That one, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
It's not a question.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that. If you want. I mean, we brought it up. Yeah. So maybe out of line, but y'all seem like very good Christians. Love y'all for the friendly whiskey drinking. Cheers. Yeah. I mean, that's our background. Like I grew up going to church. I always trip on Grease. Like I love how he incorporates his background in church with that. But I grew up in church. You grew up in church.
We go to church.
Yeah, we go to church. We serve, we actually volunteer at church. We lead small groups. We do a lot of work.
Couple small group at our church.
Yeah,
which is awesome, by the way. We love that. It's a good group.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, it's part of who we are. But I kind of grew up around. I didn't really have a lot of good adults in my life growing up, but I had a good grandmother, and I had a good uncle that really walked softly and carried a big stick, in the sense that he lived a really good he lived a really good life, and he was a very good example. Mm-hmm. And I took a lot away from that as to how a man should carry himself. So I just, I took a lot from him. And funny enough, he didn't say a lot, and I talk way too much, but
it's okay.
It's probably how me and him differ the most. Yeah. But his name was Walter, and we call him Moose because he's a big old dude. He was like 6'3". I mean, not built, but like just big. Just
big, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he ate a lot of meat and potatoes, and somebody said he was strong as a moose, and that kind of stuck. Good. So yeah, Moose is near and dear to my heart. And just try to make him proud.
Yeah. And you do. Oh. Barry said that if we get a dog, it'll make my comfy couch his home.
Yeah.
He wants me to know that.
Well, that's another reason we got to get non-shedding. We got this big comfy couch.
Oh my gosh.
And
it's my comfy couch.
That we bought from the people we bought the house from.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
All right. Let me see if I get.
Can I say one more thing about the scoring real quick? Yeah. Because I love that. I love that question.
I think I missed Montana Thrasher. Thank you.
Oh, get that one in there. Yeah. So when it comes to the scoring, what we don't say on every episode is that if somebody, if you our $6 patron tier, our whiskey nerd tier, you can get the score sheets that we use, like the printouts that we've built, and you can, start scoring whiskey yourself. Mm-hmm. And that is kind of a cool thing to do, because then you can start weighing your own market availability, your own stuff. And you could just do it too, but having the printouts is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And even if you want them, you can join the $6 tier, get them for a month, save them, and cancel. You don't have to stick around for that if we're not giving you something you don't want. But for a one-time thing, you could get that. Kathy says she's digging the shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, it's on stuffandwhiskey.com. I like it a lot. Erin built it. This is appealing to the 90s, Josh.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm wearing a 9 Inch Nails. Yeah, like a 9 Inch Nails or Tool t-shirt.
So it comes in that color and black.
Yeah, we have this tan and then the black that I like a lot as well. Bruce said rare breed, question mark. So I would, but yeah, rare breed's not really hyped and allocated, but it's starting to get that way right now because of the glass shortage. But it's definitely been one of the most impressive things we've tried. What else?
So we have about.
Let's get another pour.
Let's get another pour, and then did you want to do Matt Madness talking because it's 9:10.
We absolutely need to talk Matt Madness.
Let me see. I'm going to look and see if I've missed anyone's question. If I missed your question, please at Stuff and Whiskey and repeat your question so that way I don't miss it. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, and also last thing on scoring, because I love this. Last thing on the scoring is that I think the reason we want to speak to that and always weigh against what the market has available, because we don't have endless budgets and we don't have, like, we're not going to go hunting for everything all the time.
We don't have endless time or budget.
Right. So it's easy to get on here and taste something and say, man, this is really good. I really like it a lot. Or even get a little hyperbolic and say, this is amazing. This is so good.
Yeah.
But would you actually buy it? Would you spend your own money on it? And that is something that I think speaks volumes. So of everything we do, honestly, the consumer score is the most important thing of what we do.
Yeah.
The real world score is just kind of a fun little aside.
I'd like to highlight this, that Paula says we need more stuff from Erin for the ladies.
Yeah.
Stuff episode. I agree. I agree. But if you look at like the stats, we can see like what population of our channel is male and which is female. And it's like 0.09% is female. So I'm like, well, I don't want to alienate the other 99 point, whatever percent. But I hear you, and we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
April and Timothy, or is it Timothy? Go.
Yeah.
Timothy.
Yeah. Started a Bible and bourbon group.
I'm working on something like that with a friend of mine who actually was a bourbon broker and partial owner in a store here, and we're working on trying to get together a small group of guys to do something very similar to that. So a little bottle share / hangout session where guys can just get real. Let's talk about our next pour, the finished whiskey category. So get ready to hit us up in the chat with what you want us to drink. You can see it down at the bottom of the description below, but I'll read it off here as well. Redwood Empire 12-year Haystack Cabernet finish.
Ooh, I love that.
So Redwood Empire. We've got Angel's Envy finished in ice cider. So we got that.
Man, that sounds good too.
We've got Barrell Seagrass 16-year, and we've got a Barrell private release that's finished in a Jamaican rum cask. So let us know: Barrell rum finish, Barrell Seagrass 16, Angel's Envy ice cider, or Redwood Empire cab finish. Hit that in the chat.
Yep. I know you said definitely appreciate how we show that most good bottles fall into a middle tier and show most expensive bottles aren't worth it.
Yeah.
That's what just by tasting things blind, we found that most things are good, but there are very few that are just like, whoa, so good that it's worth paying gobs and gobs of extra money for. But a lot of it is good. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah. Kenny Stevens is up in here dropping some thoughts on it. Marco Suarez is here. What's up, man?
Oh, Robert in Colorado. Thank you.
Get him in there. All right. So did we miss any of the talk on the other stuff?
I don't think so.
Do we need to scroll up and see?
I've been trying to keep up with it.
Okay.
I might need to scroll down a little bit.
And can I just say, I feel like, I don't want to go into it too much. I'm going to say.
Thank you for the congrats, Steven. I
was going to continue on the church thing. I think people get crazy about that stuff. Like, there's a lot of people who, we go to church because we like that community too. But there's a lot of people who, they get a lot of that stuff twisted up. I've heard Trish talk about it. Whiskey Eyes. She's been on some chats talking about it, and it's, it's really just about loving people. Yeah. Like treating people well. That's really what it's about. So that's what we try to do.
Yeah. Aiden says he gets asked for Weller at work a lot.
Yeah.
Also, alcohol-free vodka. That's a thing. Yeah. I didn't even know that's a thing.
All right. So where are our votes? We got a barrel rum cask, a haystack needle, ice cider, Seagrass 16. Oh man, are we gonna have to run another randomizer? Barrel Tums. I need a barrel of Tums. Ice cider. Redwood Empire. Oh boy, this is split. This is really close. If they can't get an overwhelming consensus, I'll just do like a 1 through 4 randomizer.
Redwood.
Man, I wish we knew how to do polls. I just don't. I know some channels do it. I just don't know how they do it.
We'll have to, if we're going to do something like this again, we should look into it.
I know. All right. Do you feel like there's an overwhelming winner? Or should we run a randomizer?
Let's just run a randomizer. Is that okay with you guys?
Okay.
Can we just do a randomizer?
All right. Let's go. And then we're going to get into Matt Madness
Salty
recap.
Lettuce is here. Hey.
What's up? Have we covered all JB Bourbon's here? Have we covered all the
channel
the
questions?
Q&A questions, personal channel related, whatever else?
I believe so.
Do you believe you can fly?
I believe I can fly.
I believe you can touch the sky.
I can touch the sky. I think about it every night of the day. Spread my wings and just fly away.
All right. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 through 4. 2.
Oh, wait.
Barrell Seagrass, 16-year.
Got a question from James Michael. Hey, 81 in the house.
Favorite song?
I was born in 81 too.
Oh,
81
my
also.
goodness. But highlight it. What's our favorite song and movie growing up? And then some whiskey drinking. So we're going to get this Barrell Seagrass 16-year poured.
I wouldn't say growing up. I can tell you what my favorite movie was in my 20s. For a long time, it was Zoolander. And I loved that movie so much. It was like my late teens, early 20s, I think, when that movie came out.
Thanks to Bill Kavanaugh for this sample as well.
Which one is it?
This is Barrell Seagrass, 16-year.
Okay.
130.82 proof.
Oh, dang.
So this is all Canadian rye, finished in the same barrels type, the same finishing barrels as the regular Seagrass, but this is much older.
So my favorite movie when I was a young adult was Zoolander. I don't know about growing up.
I would say growing up, I love the Goonies. I was really big into Voltron, which is kind of like our Stuff and Whiskey shirt that I had on in Matt Madness. That's what that reminds me of. I was really big into Voltron and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But yeah, more so into like a lot of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, I was
into movies.
The Care Bears and Rainbow Brrye.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite song is any song from the 90s. Yeah. Preferably pop or alt rock from the 90s.
Yeah, when I got into music, I got really big into like Alice in Chains. Nirvana was like what everybody was listening to, so I was like a little bit, counter current, like Soundgarden. Soundgarden was probably like my favorite.
I like Soundgarden.
Blow Up the Outside World, Soundgarden, Final Answer. I freaking love that song. But I'm the biggest Tool fan. Like I absolutely love Tool.
You do.
That's my favorite band. I think they're the most talented, most innovative. I think they're going to be they're like the modern day Beethoven. They're going down in history when we look back. Aiden got us. Alcohol-free vodka is just water.
Oh, it is. Josh and Erin rule. Erin a little bit more. Thanks, Jay.
All right. So have we gotten everything? We haven't missed anything, right?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's get into this. Cheers again to you guys.
Shane's an 81 baby too.
There you go.
Oh.
We got a super chat to get in here. Whiskey to whiskey. Shout out to my fellow UPSer. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. What do you do? What do you do there? There's a lot of things to do there. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things to not do there that you can still get paid for, like what I do. No.
You drive. You do things.
I joke, but yeah, I do a lot of things. Princess Bride's a good one. Yeah.
Like she likes Princess Bride. That is a good one. I didn't see that movie until I was older. Like I missed that entirely growing up. But then when I was in college was when the first time I saw Princess Bride. Yeah. I was very late to the party on that one.
YW.
Moisture is the essence of wetness. Yeah. And wetness is the essence of beauty. I think that's what it is. It's been a long time since I've seen Zoolander. Mine is I think I've got the black lung pop.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know I want to watch Zoolander.
All right, scrolling down. Ghostbusters is good, but okay, I was more Back to the Future than Ghostbusters.
Back to the Future, those are awesome movies.
Yeah. You were big on Sister Act. You like that a lot. That was more 90s, I guess.
That was more 90s, yeah.
But it was still kind of, I put it in that same category.
Yeah. Ghostbusters.
Days of Thunder was good. But Oh, why am I blanking?
I don't know.
Ricky Bobby. That was better than Days of Thunder.
Oh.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
I completely blanked.
It's okay.
All right. Let's get into this Barrell Seagrass.
Okay.
Again, cheers. This one's going to be a cheers. We've already cheers you guys. This is cheers to hang on. We owe some thanks to some people, okay?
Yeah.
As we finish this channel recap for the past year and we get into the Matt Madness things, we owe some thanks. So Chris over at Hot Buttery Rolls was the first live stream that ever had us on.
Yes.
When we were just a couple hundred subscribers.
And we had to share iPhone AirPods.
The audio was awful. Bourbon remembers. It was so bad.
Yeah.
We were on our cell phone. Like we had our camera, but we didn't have the device to hook it up to the computer to make it be the camera we needed. It was awful on our part. But we were there. He was the first person to have us little channel on. Yep. And then Scott at My Bourbon Journey and Jason at Mash and Drum had us on. And then Matt had us on. Yeah. And then in collaborations, like video collaboration projects, not live streams, but Lance at the Whiskey Tornado was one of the first channel that did something with us.
That asked us to collaborate on a
That
video.
was amazing. And then we had
was like the five.
No, it was our favorite whiskey
best bourbon ever
that we had open. Yeah, that we actually drank.
The thumbnail says like best bourbon ever, and then question mark.
One of our highest viewed videos.
Yeah.
Phil and Julie from the Bourbon Van collaborated with us on something as well, and that was amazing. And then Chris over at
Bourbon of the Week
also collaborated with us on a project as well. So we've had quite a few channels that are gave us an opportunity, gave us a little bit of a platform.
Did I miss a super chat?
And it was
from Paula.
Yeah, get Paula in there again.
Where did it go? Oh, maybe I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we scrolling.
Because I want
lots of people seeing Tool.
Oh, Anchorman.
I
See, people are like saying comments about songs and movies, and I don't want to miss them.
Yeah.
April didn't see Princess Bride until college either, so good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Ethan says cheers to a year. Paula,
10 kilos of Colombian Bam Bam.
Thank you, Paula.
And I saw the sorter. I did sorting in the hub too before I started doing package car driving. Marco says The Empire Strikes Back. You know, I didn't get into Star Wars until I was an adult for some reason. I don't know why. I just didn't get on in there.
Yes, Adriana, we did. We got you. We got your super chat.
Adriana, no, Wildlife and Whiskey.
Oh, Wildlife and Whiskey. Sorry.
You were thinking Whiskey Mountains.
Whiskey Mountains. Thank you. Wildlife and Whiskey.
We got you.
Yes, Wildlife and Whiskey. We got you.
Got you in there.
Thank you.
So far, you're on it. You are on it. We love having a mod. Like having a mod be able to track is really nice, but like it's not hard for us to enter it into the spreadsheet. And then what we like the most about this that we use is it mixes the results up. So like it doesn't matter if you're the first person to super chat or the last person. We randomize it before we run the randomizer for the range. So everybody has pretty much an equally good shot.
Yeah. All right.
Because I was always thinking like, man, what if I'm like the first person or the last person? Like, you know, your odds aren't great that it's going to be a 1 or a whatever, but it all gets randomized. So.
All right. Should we try this?
Yeah. Barrell Seagrass 16.
Yep. And then
this is cheers to all the channels that have given us a chance.
Yes.
And yeah, we just can't appreciate. I mean, we can't say how much we appreciate all you guys for doing that.
For taking a chance.
Yeah. And then this is a perfect transition into Matt.
Yep.
Giving us a chance on Matt Madness.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. It definitely doesn't smell as Skittlesy as on the nose as the regular Seagrass.
I just went in because I like this one. So I just went in.
Oh boy. Oh, I got like some nail polish on this.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's got some depth. I just got a little too deep in there. Like, wow. I got some whiskey on my nose.
Yeah, I can see nail polish.
Yeah, there's a lot of richness here, a lot of depth, obviously from the age. But wow, I'm really surprised at how like nail polish it is. I'm gonna take a sip now.
It's got that finish on there.
It's got the apricot, but it's, you know, I really, really enjoy the Curiosity Public channel. Those guys, I love watching them bicker over their scores. They have a really complicated scoring system, but it's very thorough. And as a nerd, I appreciate that. And they didn't like the regular Seagrass. They said it was a little too artificial tasting, which I understand. I do like it a lot.
This one's hot.
Yeah, it hangs around. It's a stage 5 clinger. But This is way more dark and rich and rounded and robust. Like, this is really something else. It's on the note. As I was taking a sip, I was like, on the nose, this reminds me of like Alberta cask strength. And I was like, duh, it's the same stuff. Like, it's, Canadian rye.
Oh, John has a question. Oh, JB Bourbon. Thank you. 90s references taking me back. Haven't thought about some of that stuff in a long time. Man.
I was also, I was really big on like Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
Boy Meets World.
Yes.
Like that was.
That TGIF.
Oh, TGIF was like Family Matters.
Yeah. Full House.
Full House.
Boy Meets World was on there.
Yeah, that was.
That dinosaur show.
I watched some of that.
Not the Mama show.
Yep. That's dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect Strangers, I think, was on TGIF for a hot minute.
I don't remember that one.
JB Bourbon. Thank you so much. Got you in. There was one comment.
Eric asked if there's any barrel picks in the near future. So I will say that barrel picks aren't something that was really on our radar because we would just rather like do blind flight nights with the community and things like that. And we really, really enjoy that. So we actually thought about putting our time, effort, and energy into doing that rather than doing barrel picks. However, with talking with some patrons, there was something that was brought up that I've had the opportunity because of the channel. We've both been invited on a couple of barrel picks. I've gotten,
Ryan.
Yes, thank you so much, man. Love my wind dance. Yeah, we can talk about that here in a second. But it wasn't something that was on our radar, but we get to do it a little bit now because we have the channel, and that's kind of what we're all about. Like, if we get to do something, we want you guys to be able to experience it as well. Yeah. So we have started dabbling with the idea of doing barrel picks. More so to have an experience that we can bring patrons on with us. Yeah. That is more important to us than the actual barrel pick. And obviously, like, we're just not going to pick a barrel if it's not good. Yeah. So I think we could do a barrel pick and have it be a really good experience for anybody that could come with us. And then also if it's a good barrel. And I think people know us well enough now to know that we can communicate what to expect out of the pick so they can decide whether to buy it or not. Because we don't want to just sell it to be selling it. Right. It
would be a lot of work to go into that just to sell it for random things.
For sure.
Salty Lettuce said, I just rewatched all of Doogie Howser MD. I loved Doogie Howser.
I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch all of it.
I didn't watch a lot of TV when I was younger, but then I started watching. I made up for lost time in my early adulthood and watched a lot.
I actually grew up watching with my grandfather. I watched a lot of Cheers and a lot of Married with Children. Which you were not allowed to watch.
I was not allowed to watch Married with Children.
But I loved Cheers.
Or Sabrina the Teenage Witch because it was about witchcraft. My mom wouldn't let me watch it.
Yeah.
John had a question, and then we can get into some Matt Madness recap if you want to answer this question.
So we map out content well in advance. And honestly, a lot of it too is like I will peruse the Facebook groups and like see what people are talking about, what's going on in the community, or like pay attention to breaking news or hear something on a podcast, and I'll just make a note of it. And our head-to-heads take care of themselves. Yeah. Like we just put interesting things in there based on bottles that we get our hands on. But as far as the conversational stuff goes, like it's just really paying attention to the community and trying to keep a pulse on what's going on. So it's never really super hard. Like it's usually trying to figure out of this massive pool of concepts and ideas that we could talk about, which one are we going to do and which one makes the most sense. And we've even like set up recurring episodes now. Like what are we drinking right now that we're reaching for? Because
that changes, you know, every few months.
And bottles we finish, and would we buy them again or not? Because we feel like that's really valuable content. So that helps alleviate it too a little bit. All right, let's get into some Matt Madness talk.
Let's do it.
All right, so Matt Madness happened. What do you guys want to know?
It did happen.
I want to say, first off, huge thanks to Matt and Mama P for raising an amazing son, because Matt is an absolute incredible human being, and we count ourselves lucky to know him, much less, be on his channel doing that. We know it was random, like it's all good, but like the fact that we were both selected was kind of incredible. Yeah. And kind of funny. But yeah, like as soon as we got selected, and then we found out we're going up against Jason of all people. Yeah. What? Like us? Like Jason?
That's when I was like, y'all, I just got to have fun because there's no way between him and him. I just need to be me and have fun.
We had some Patreon videos that were in the very beginning. Once we found out, like we did some practice rounds, some practice flights, and I was trying to like talk Erin through things, and she's like, "No, I'm not having fun with doing this."
I started crying in one of the Patreon videos.
Yeah, you did.
Because I just didn't. It just is.
Yeah.
The nerding out on whiskey isn't fun for me. I enjoy drinking it with people, but like the knowing all the details about it isn't fun. And I felt pressure to know all that. And we were practicing. We were doing a Patreon video, and for our bonus content. And I kind of started crying a little bit. And that's when I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go in there and have fun.
Yeah.
And just drink and say what I'm just going to do me. I'm going to say what I taste. And if it's wrong, that's fine.
And I enjoy nerding out. So I did a lot of practice leading up to Matt Madness. And I know Jason did a lot of practice as well, but boy, I did a lot of practice. Real quick, I realized we're just doing a disservice to everybody watching. 4-Gate toasted.
Oh.
Are you thumbs up? Just okay? Thumbs down? 2 thumbs up? Overall.
I thought this was Seagrass.
This is Seagrass, but what about the 4-Gate? We didn't say what we thought.
It gets thumbs up.
Okay. I think I'm thumbs up on the nose, thumbs up on the flavor, 2 thumbs up on the experience on 4-Gate. It is $250.
Oh, snap.
It would be a special occasion bottle at that price. And I would have a tough time pulling the trigger on it because that's like pushing the budget for the month.
Yeah.
As far as like what we spend on whiskey. But I would pull the trigger on the 4-Gate.
Yeah.
Seagrass, 16-year. Where are you at?
Thumbs up.
Across the board?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just okay on the nose. It's a little nail polishy for me. I would almost even go close to thumbs down on the nose. But on the palate, it's really good. I'm going to give it a thumbs up on flavor, 2 thumbs up on experience. There's a lot of stuff going on in the glass. However, this is also like $250 or $300.
Oh, dang.
I'm a buy on the 4-Gate. I don't think I would buy.
I'm probably
the Seagrass
not
16.
buy on either of them. I would rather buy something else for $250.
I would rather buy 3 bottles of the regular Seagrass over 1 bottle of the 16-year.
Okay. Alan said hello from Murfreesboro. Hi, Alan.
What's up, Alan?
Okay, we have 2 questions.
Marco has a really good thing. He said that it should be a stressful experience, right?
And that's that was what I came to because nerding out wasn't fun for me. It was fun for him. Yeah. He enjoyed the practice and the like knowing all the things, and so he did that. For me, it was not. It was stressful, and so I made it not stressful. So that was my approach as well.
So we owe thanks to Bill Kavanaugh and Will Henderson, Hendo, for sending us some flights, some practice flights leading up to Matt Madness. And like I was having Erin go like in the stash that we have and pull bottles and pour them. And I was trying to guess the price, the proof, or not the price, the proof, the age. I had a little printout that said things Matt asks, and I would go through everything. And every single thing I was tasting, it wasn't like, what is the age of this? I was trying to guess the age, the proof, the distillery. I was guessing every question that Matt asked on every single glass. Yeah. And I was practicing all the time. Yeah. Tons of flights. And Matt, okay.
Can we hold on? Let's answer a question. Salty Lettuce had a question.
Yeah. So here's the thing. When we were practicing, I was actually practicing and getting my answer in 10 to 15 seconds because I knew the 30-second timer was tight. So I did not want to lean all the way on that because I knew there'd be distractions. Yep. So I was actually, a lot of times when we were tasting something, I was answering in under 15 seconds, usually under 10. With that said, when you're on Matt's channel and the music is going, that 30 seconds felt shorter than the 10 seconds when I was doing it here just because in the quiet privacy of our own home. Yeah.
And the songs are awesome. So it's like you're wanting to appreciate the songs. It went by fast.
It really did.
Mark had a question as well. I don't even think we know.
It fluctuates around 125 to 150 bottles. We don't have any space for any more than that. So we're running out of space.
Yeah, Josh has confiscated all the space that his wife will let him.
Yeah, we give away a lot of stuff too. Yeah. Like we're fortunate enough that people are generous and they give us stuff, but we give away a lot of whiskey to friends. We trade a lot of samples. We do a lot of stuff in that regard as well. Yeah. So we try to keep it no more than 150.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Bourbon Engineer, signing off. Thank you so much. For your congrats.
Yeah. See you tomorrow for that blind flight night.
Oh, yeah.
JB Bourbon says blinds are so hard. And by the way, I appreciate JG's nice, his kind words there. They're very nice. I really appreciate that.
Yes, Josh does have an awesome palate. I'll highlight this one.
Yeah.
When he doesn't second guess himself and he just goes with his gut, he's really good. And I try to remind him of this, and I think he actually remembered it on Friday, which is good.
And there were places where I lost points because I overthought things, or I talked myself out of things, and we can talk about that. But I want to say that Matt Madness with the 30-second timer is the great equalizer. If you just let me and Jason have at a flight, Jason will outtaste me 10 times out of 10. It's not even a question. The 30-second timer, and you really do have to go with your gut. And Matt, for a nerd like me, Matt Madness is kind of a perfect storm because it's really more about pattern recognition and rather than like true tasting.
Yeah.
Like Jason can sit down and pull out 15 notes, and I'd literally be making stuff up past 3 or 4 notes. Like I just don't ever get that much on a glass like Jason does. But with that time limit, you really are just trying to go with recognition on age, on proof, on distillery, all that stuff, type of whiskey, secondary grain. And it's a lot of educated guessing, or in Erin's case, just guessing.
Strategic guessing.
Strategic guessing, yeah.
Strategery.
You had a lot of strategery. I had a lot of educated guessing.
Yeah.
So the music is distracting and funny. And I will say, let's just say it right now. David and Kira, my goodness.
Those songs were awesome. And my favorite part was the intro where they're like, "Welcome to Matt Madness," and they say all the stuff about Jason.
Hey, the Sultan of Single Barrels, the Defender of Dickel, the Lady of Lynchburg, and something else.
And also Josh is here.
That it only got played the one time because it was right in the beginning, but that was so funny. Like that was one of the low key funniest lines.
My favorite part of the whole night.
Was so good. And then the songs about Jason, like the PYT, FYT, and the I love you, Jason, and if it's quite all right.
Those songs are epic.
Jason was up against some monster songs as far as distractions go.
Yep, he was.
And honestly, like they weren't even about us, but I was distracted because those songs were so good.
Yep.
Like David you give that man like 2 weeks to prepare. He
knocks it out of the park.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
He absolutely crushed it.
Oh, we got OO Accord 4-cylinder just joined.
What's up?
Man. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining in. Also, I just want to say too that like I love David and Kira so much because they are so unapologetically themselves, which is such an amazing thing to see. Like I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like they're like the Weird Al, like South Park of Whiskey Tube.
Ooh,
it's so
talking about some music from the 90s that I liked, Weird Al. And apparently there's a documentary coming out on him that somebody famous is in. It might even be Daniel Radcliffe. I think Daniel Radcliffe is going to be in a biopic of Weird Al coming out.
Really?
I'm almost positive, and if that's true, I'm going to see it.
All right, so Matt Madness.
Okay.
Does anybody have any specific questions? I thanked the people I needed to thank.
Yep.
Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Jason for the great competition. Like,
there
was a poll that was put up as to far as who would win,
and he won that poll.
Jason is one of the biggest Whiskey Tube channels that exists, and one of the absolute best. I was under no delusion that we would get high votes. Like I knew Jason would get the most votes. I knew that Erin would get the next most votes. I knew that I would get the last amount of votes.
I voted for you.
I didn't take it personal. I voted for you too. Even though I thought Jason would win. But I voted for you because I would get in trouble if I didn't. But Jason is so good. And I feel like because we know Jason a little bit and we've been on his channel and we've chatted with him, and it was facing somebody that I consider to be like a friend and one of the best. Like it really, I was already going to take it seriously because of the work that Matt puts into this, guys. Like I got to tell you,
it's a lot of work.
It is an insane amount of work that Matt puts in. But with that said, Jason made me step it up even more, because I respect Jason so much that I wanted to really bring my A game.
Yeah.
And I'm not even competitive, so I wasn't even like doing it to win because I didn't think I would.
He's not. Out of the two of us, I'm way more competitive than he is.
I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah.
But speaking of, that's kind of a perfect thing for Matt Madness because Matt Madness is a lot like golf. Like there's no defense unless you're going to mess with the other person. And I did with Jason a little bit. Like I talked a little bit of trash and that's not like typically my style. So I kind of felt like a jerk doing it. Scott's in the chat. My Bourbon Journey. One of the first channels to give us any shine whatsoever.
Yes.
Got us on a live stream. I still think it's probably the best live stream appearance we've ever had to date. We were actually a little funny on it. I was at least.
We're funny.
I've been downhill since then.
You're funny.
Thank you so much,
man.
Eating some pad thai. Collective Soul.
Oh yeah.
That is everything right now. So give me some why am I blanking?
It's fine. Focus.
Some panning beef curry.
I would like to say we have about 10 minutes before the giveaway closes. So if you do want to get into the giveaway for a flight of whiskey, go ahead and get your super chats in now. We'll be doing that around 9:50, which our time. So it's in about 9 minutes.
And Alan asked if we've thought about doing our own Glencairns with stuff and whiskey print on them. Yeah, we have. We have these, and you'll start seeing them more in our videos.
You can't see it. There we go. It's better.
Wait, which way do we turn it?
That way.
That way. Okay. We have some, but glass is very expensive. And like we do bulk orders, like group orders on our Patreon platform for those. And we just charge cost on them. So we do those like twice a year. And we don't have time and we don't have space to stock up and order a big order. Yeah. So we just have to do, bulk orders and get them handled that way. But yeah, Matt Madness, I will say I did a lot of training. You did a lot of, once you were like, I'm just going to have fun, you just started helping me train. And I trained a ton. So lots of flights, lots of single samples of me trying to answer all the questions. And I felt the weakest on proof, but I was all right. I felt pretty good on age. I felt pretty good on distillery. And so when we got into it, if you guys are curious about kind of walking through the way it went, YW asked, who do we think should be in Matt Madness that wasn't in it? Oh, that's tough, man. I like how Matt did it with the randomizer. I mean, we're kind of biased to that because we randomize for our samples. Yeah. But it's really tough. I mean, it's hard to make anybody not feel like they're being left out.
Yeah.
So I think Matt did it the best way possible.
Yeah. Bill asked, what will you seek to do differently or better for round 2?
That's a good question. So, I think I'm going to spend a lot of time working on proof between now and then because Matt only asked one proof question, but I was guessing the proof on every single sample because that goes into what you guess for the bottle. So as I was guessing proof, that influenced some of my bottle guesses. So I was off on his Nulu pick, the rye. So I guessed a bottle that I thought was less proof than that. And I was also off on, I'm like, okay, sample B was, I knew it was Wild Turkey, but it drank like it was like 100 and mid 100 and O's.
Yeah,
proof.
It didn't drink as proofy as it was.
And I know I sent in
that was the rare breed.
It was rare breed. And I sent in 100 as my answer on the proof, but I was like thinking 105, 107. And the only thing I could think that was from Wild Turkey that fit that proof point was Saffel, WB Saffel. So that was my guess. But if I would have been more locked in on proof, then I would have been able to.
It drank lower than it was, though.
It did. And Rare Breed does that to us in flights, especially. Scott, send us an email, stuffandwhiskey@gmail.com. We need a high quality. If it ain't high quality, we're out the door. But if it's high quality, deep etching, and they can drop ship as orders come in.
We need drop shipping.
Especially if they can link up with Shopify. Is that who you use? She does all that stuff.
Shopify.
If it links up with that, it's where people can just order them and they get drop shipped, then we're on board for it. So until then, we haven't found anything that's good enough quality that also does drop shipping. And we're just, we're obsessed with quality. So we're not going to put it out. I'm sure the quality's great. I just need drop shipping because we can't stock.
Yeah. James Michael says bought some Green Spot because of us.
Oh, green apple.
We
yeah,
bought some
so
green
good.
spot because of Eric David Gunderson.
Yeah. You can thank Eric for that.
Yeah,
the
thank
man
you.
with 3 names.
Thank you to the man with 3 names for all of us having green spot.
So Matt Madness started off. I was so nervous, you guys. Were you nervous at all at the beginning?
No, because I was just there not to make a fool of myself, and I figured I could do that. Okay.
I was nervous because we were up against Jason. I was nervous because we were on Matt's channel. I was actually wearing this shirt, but it's light, and I started getting so nervous. I was like, I got to go put on a black shirt because I'm going to sweat through this thing. So we went. I got a black shirt. I did a pre-stream flight and kind of tried to get myself dialed in on proof and age a little bit, like how they're hitting me that day. And I actually picked that tip up from the podcast because Will drank some 90 and 100 proof before the start of his round. And he wanted to see how 90 and 100 proof were hitting him that day, right before the flight. And so I did that with a couple of different pours, a couple of different proof points, ages, mash bills. And then I went into it that way, and I just did my best. I want to say that as far as you go, not answering the yes or no question was hilarious.
The true or false question?
Or the true or false. Is this Elijah Craig barrel proof?
I know.
That was hilarious.
I just wanted to send a meme. That's all. I just wanted to send a meme. I just picked the wrong one.
Greg has a good point. He said we got to do the Scotch selection.
Okay.
And this is last call for super chats for the giveaway.
Yep.
So if you want in
4 minutes, and then I'm gonna close
if you want in on a blind flight, hit us up or super chat us. Black Bourbon Families in the house. Raise your drinks up casually.
They were also an early supporter of us as well.
Yeah.
Leaving comments.
Yeah, we did some collaborations with them. And
thank
awesome.
you guys.
Absolutely love those guys. So their last call, the flight is going to be your choice. You're going to get 2 allocated products. You're going to get 6 pours total, 2-ounce sample jars. And I'll send you a list of every allocated product we have available, and we will build it around what you want the flight to be built around. So much like we do on our channel, a lot of available versus allocated, or allocated versus inexpensive, expensive, whatever. We'll do that.
Will you answer this question?
Yes.
Is there such a thing as cleaning the palate between tastings? And if so, what do they do?
People do all kinds of different things. As far as what I do, I just like, especially for Matt Madness, as soon as I had a sip of one thing, I just tried to have some water quickly so that the water could kind of clear out. I didn't want to take a sip of water and then immediately go into tasting the next thing. Yeah. So that was...
Speaking of water.
Yeah, that was... It's really hard because things, especially with the bottle guest round, it's really hard to get a good beat on the glass and then taste the next glass and not have it affect you. But we just use water. You do pretzels sometimes. Kind of something pretty neutral. All right. So for the Scotch, you guys pick what we're tasting here,
glasses.
Okay? We will. So we've got 3 Scotches, 1 peated Scotch. So we have Macallan 15-year. Never had this.
We've had that.
We've had other Macallans, but not the 15.
Okay.
We've only had the 12. We have Glenmorangie single malt Scotch Signet. So that's a big boy bottle. We have Balvenie single malt 14-year Caribbean cask. And we have Talisker Distillers Edition double matured in Omaroso cask. So hit us up in the chat. Macallan, Glenmorangie, Balvenie, or Talisker. You guys want to see us try some peat? You want to see us go with the Macallan?
Handle this for a second. I'm gonna
or
prep the.
Or are we doing Glenmorangie or Balvenie? This Signet is a big boy bottle. All right, we've got some votes coming in for Signet, for Talisker, for the Signet, the Glenmorangie, Talisker. Greg has a good point about the Signet being tried on a fresh palate. Talisker, Balvenie. All right, it's pretty close right now. James Jones is in here. Congratulations on 1 year. Put James in before you run that. Okay. We're not closing down yet. Talisker. You guys want to see us drink some peat is what it is, isn't it? You guys want to see us drink some peat.
James?
Let's see. Do James Jones.
Okay.
All right. I think James Jones is going to be the last super chat, unless you can get it in the next 1 minute.
1 minute.
Because I'm watching this clock right over here at It's at 9:49. So at 9:50 our time, we shut her down. I think Talisker is the win here. It's the peat won out. And I think for good reason. So I'm actually really interested in trying this. And we have to give a solid shout out on this one as well. So let's see here.
All right, you pour. I'm gonna get the.
Hang on, I gotta give an appropriate shout out here for this.
Oh.
This is thanks to. I don't want to get it. So this is Instagram, okay? At Chad, the Bearded Realtor, came to Tennessee and dropped off this sample for us.
Oh.
So yeah, very interested in trying this. Did I get that right? I better got that right. Chad. I want to make sure. I would hate to. Yes, Chad. Chad, the Bearded Realtor on Instagram at Chad, the Bearded Realtor. So, we're going to try some peat.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
All
so
right.
we're closed on the chat.
Yep.
We've got a number. This smells amazing.
So
just out of the sample jar.
I have randomized the name list here, and then we're gonna pick a random number.
Yep. So the same randomizer that we use. So what's our number range first off?
1 through 76.
1 through 76. All right. So you guys can see this, hopefully. Let me make sure my screen brightness is turned up enough so you can see it. All right. So the list has been randomized. Yep. So it's fair already. Doesn't matter if you're first, last, whatever. Number 23.
Number 23.
And then make sure you go across.
Eric David Gunderson.
Whoa!
The man with 3 names.
The very first super chat of the night.
Yeah.
Coming in big with a $50 super chat. Yeah. And Eric is a huge supporter of the channel.
He is.
And just a great friend, to be honest. Like,
awesome guy. If you ever get a chance to meet him, do it. He's great.
Absolutely.
He and his wife are awesome.
Absolutely. So,
congrats, Eric.
How many do we have? 76?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Well, if you in $5 increments, 76. Yeah.
Hang on just a minute.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give away 2 flights tonight.
Okay.
2 flights.
2 flights. Let's do it.
So Eric's going to get 1. I don't have to pay for shipping for that. So I'll give it to him the next time I see him. So we're going to run another one.
All right.
Who's getting this one?
15.
Number 15.
Wait.
15. 15. And go across.
JB Bourbon.
JB Bourbon. Hit us up at stuffandwhiskey@gmail.com. And we are going to start talking about the some of the allocated products we have here on hand. And you're going to get a flight too.
Yes.
So we'll ship that out to you. We'll hand deliver that to you.
We'll hand deliver that.
Via private courier service. So let's try this. Talisker.
Okay.
Distiller's Edition. Double matured in Omaroso cask wood. 45.8%. So we're looking at like 91.4 proof.
And this is the peated. I missed that part because I was doing that. Cheers to Eric. Cheers to JB Bourbon. Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. I cannot wait to put together these flights for you. Boy, oh boy, on the nose. Okay.
I love a good peated.
Okay, so with peated, there's like the campfire peat, and then there's like the Band-Aid peat. The Band-Aid peat. We don't like the Band-Aid peat that much.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not going to lie.
This is like borderline on the Band-Aid
It's
peat.
like a Band-Aid that's been in the campfire.
Yeah. But it's really pleasant. There is some sweetness there. Oh, man. Like the fruit on this, like with some of these peated scotches, like when you can get that really like
juicy fruit.
Juicy, like, fruity note.
Like real fruit, not juicy fruit gum.
Yeah. That's almost like this. It's almost like I'm getting shades of apricot, like from the Seagrass. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Let's get into the palate here.
Okay. Ooh. It's nice. It's like soft.
Oh, it's
It's not offensive. Like it tastes like peated.
Yeah. Tastes peated.
But it's not too much.
It's like a really smooth, I've called it like a kiddie coaster before, like where it just kind of rolls in really soft on the palate, ramps up a little mid palate, kind of falls off on the back end, but not too slow. It sticks around. The peat is lingering. The fruit is lingering. getting a lot of those like.
But none of it is too powerful. It's lingering, but it comes in soft and it stays soft just for a long time.
Yeah, the fruit I'm getting is like it really is like almost mango-y. I have like a mango lip balm that I use, and it's really from Brrye.
From Brrye.
Yeah, Brrye gave some gag gifts. And they were actually awesome.
No, he gave me a birthday gift, and you confiscated some of it.
I did a little bit, yeah. So this is almost getting like a mango-y, coconutty, like a kind of like a tropical, fruity type of vibe out of this.
And some peat.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. I like a good peated scotch.
It's light. Like I wish the fruity sweetness is light. The peat is pretty, like it's not super heavy-handed peat.
It's just sustained.
It's real campfire. It's a little salty, a little briny, but not overly. Yeah. So it's not too medicinal. It's not too iodining. Yeah. I will say from the get-go, people have been talking about James Michael coming in.
Aw, thank you
so much. So
that's so nice.
Thank you
so much. You don't even get to win anything. I'm sorry.
So people talked about Jason being mad, and Jason was upset because Jason is a competitive person, and he's got one of the absolute best palates in this game.
True truth.
And I appreciate I knew he was going to come competitive, so I would, if I were a competitive person, I probably would have been upset had I lost as well. I just kind of went in expecting to lose, but
you had low expectations.
Yeah, I had real low expectations. I just really wanted to have a good time.
Everyone else thought you would lose too, so
yeah. I just really wanted to have a good time, but I wanted to give it my best.
Yeah, and I think you did.
Before we get out of here, like we'll probably say a little over 2 hours tonight. We usually try to wrap at 2 hours, but I want to talk about Map Madness a little bit in earnest.
Okay, so
that's
fine.
And we got a pour to work through here.
We do.
So. Starting off right off the bat.
Oh, Aiden says good night. Good night, Aiden.
Good night, Aiden. So
and JG's off too, I think. Good night, all.
The age on the first pour, we're not going to walk through every little thing here, but the age on the first pour, right off the bat, I could tell that Matt was throwing curveballs. That was the Boone County weeded bourbon. I went 10 years. You went, I think, 6.
I don't know.
You went 6. I think Jason, I can't remember what Jason went.
I think he went 14.
No, he went 14 later on Matt's Rye. But that was just, that was a somewhat educated guess or a strategic guess on your part. Erin was kind of going on a little bit of law of averages. Like most things are 6 to 8 years, unless there's a reason for it to show that we needed to guess way outside of the range. Yeah. Justin Jonas is here and gone. Good night. Good night. So Tight Cut said Jason overtrained. I don't know, man. If he couldn't have overtrained more than me. I was training every single chance that I got. So Travis is saying he went 13 on his. It really did come across with a lot of gravity on the nose, but I didn't think it was that old. But I think it was just educated guesses. Yeah. The second one on the nose, Beam, Heaven Hill, and Wild Turkey are hard to distinguish on the nose. I know you just took a guess.
Yep.
For me, originally I thought it was Heaven Hill, but as I smelled it more, there wasn't that. I get like a praline note on Heaven Hill, like kind of like a chocolate praline note, and that wasn't there, and it definitely wasn't peanutty like Beam. So as I smelled it more, I actually did use the full 30 seconds for that one, and the oak on it really turned into a Wild Turkey oak. So I went with that. And I think Jason went Heaven Hill, and I think you went Heaven Hill.
No, I went Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. That was literally just a guess.
If I would have sent my answer at 20 seconds, it would have been Heaven Hill. But at 30 seconds, it was Wild Turkey. So I felt good about that guess. And I stuck with that through the rest of my guesses. Yeah. Dude, I knew like bourbon or rye on the nose is one of my strongest categories. And I smelled it and I was like, this smells like a rye. But and that's where I should have just ended and trusted my gut, like you said.
Like I tell you to.
But I didn't, because I'm a dum-dum. And I talked myself out of it because that pick is so sweet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is like a high rye bourbon. I completely talked myself out of it being a rye. And as soon as I got it on the palate, I knew I had messed up. So I messed up. You went bourbon too.
I did, because I don't know.
Yeah, Jason had rye. He was right. And then that, as soon as we smelled Glass D, at first it did smell like a really fruity ECBP pick, but as I smelled it more, I didn't think the proof was that high. I didn't think the age was that high. And it was a little bit more fruity and a little less dark, like ECBP can be. So I went no. Jason went no. You didn't answer.
That's when I said I said the meme. I answered. I just said a funny meme.
That was so funny that you didn't answer because it plays in.
Well, I just would have gotten another point.
Yeah. Then in the tasting round, was it the secondary grain? I don't know that he gave us a choice. I just wrote secondary grain question mark.
Was it wheat or rye?
Oh, wheat or rye. So I smelled it, and it really did smell like a wheater. And Jason has expressed that he has trouble with wheaters, and he doesn't drink a lot of them. And we don't drink a ton of wheaters either, mainly because they're not really your jam. But there's like a certain note. I don't even know what to call it, but there's like a certain note on a wheater. So I felt pretty good about guessing wheat there. On the proof on sample B, that thing drank under proof.
It did.
That rare breed, that's different than the rare breed that we have. That have ever had.
I had one of my control pours was our rare breed.
Yeah.
And after the Matt Madness was over, I tasted what was left in my sample from Matt and my control pour, and they tasted different.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to Bob's comment. I love that. Your red eraser.
What did I
pink
say?
Eraser.
What did I say tasted like pink eraser?
It was the first glass. The Boone County.
Oh. So
then we got to the rye sample 3. Immediately on the palate, I knew I was wrong on calling it bourbon. And then knowing it was a rye, Jason actually made a really good guess, guys. Like he went Canadian rye, and there was some specific reasons he did, and I can absolutely see his guess. So when you're tasting blind, especially within a 30-second time window, it's really tough. Jason went all in on Canadian rye. My mind never even went that way because we just haven't tried that much Canadian rye. So honestly, like our lack of experience in a lot of pours helped us there, because as soon as I thought it was rye, I thought MGP, because it was like a really sweet, not like a Kentucky sweet rye, but like a candy sweet rye. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, it's probably 6 to 8 years, no less, no more. So I went 6 years, you went 6 years. We hit it on the button.
Yeah.
Again,
for me, that was like the law of averages. I was like, I know a lot of things are 6 to 8 years, so I'm just going to say 6 or 8 years.
And for me, it was an educated guess. And Bill saying I should have just tried the Newler rye. So I did try that Wednesday and Thursday right before Matt Madness. But the thing is that's 124 proof, and inside the flight, it didn't drink 124. It to me was coming across like high 100s, like 106,
I'd say
108.
All of them drank under proof.
Yeah. It was honestly coming across really, really similar to like some New Riff rye, some really good single barrel New Riff ryes that we've had. They're like in the 106 to 108 range. So that's what I went in on. And I thought Matt was playing absolute psychological warfare on Jason, because Jason missed New Riff rye last year. So I thought he was just pulling that was going to be super devious. I thought that's what he was doing. So I went all in on New Riff rye. And then on the tasting round for sample D, he asked, what Kentucky distillery was this? He already asked if it was Elijah Craig barrel proof. And I said no, and I was confident in that. So I was like, okay, it is nutty though. So it's not wild turkey nutty. It smelled like Jim Beam, and that's me and Jason both said so.
I don't remember what I said. I said something.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just guessed a random. I think I might have said, I don't even know, some Kentucky. Anything.
I'm not even sure, but
it doesn't matter. It was a random guess.
Yeah, but I felt pretty good about that. I'm sure Jason felt really good about that as well. And then I had some notes that I made, and I think that my notes on the first glass were that I thought it was like 107-ish proof, 6-year wheater. And I really was at a loss for what fit that, because it didn't taste anything like Weller. It didn't taste anything like Maker's Mark. And I was trying to think of wheaters that fit that kind of proof range and that age range. And the only thing I could think about is from reviews that I've seen of Boone County. But I've never had Boone County before. So I was going to guess Boone County, but I went against my gut, and I said, I hedged some bets, and I said Henry McKenna 10-year, because that was one of my control pours. And I thought it was like there were some similarities there in the flavor profile. So I sent the McKenna 10, but I didn't feel confident about that at all. And I really wanted to write Boone County, but I've never had it before. So it actually ended up being a Boone County. And if I would have guessed that, I would have nailed it without ever trying the bottle, which is what happened with Baker's, but we'll get to that. And then we'll get to your guesses in a second. And then for sample B, Saffel, like 105-ish, 107-ish proof wild turkey. That's all I could think of. But you guessed rare breed.
I did. I guessed rare breed on all of them because this is my strategy here. We talk about how much we love rare breed in this channel all the time. If you see any of our videos, we'll probably drop it at least once. And so I was almost confident that Matt was going to put a rare breed somewhere in the flight.
Yeah.
I don't know bottles. I don't try to know bottles. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to guess that at least one of these is rare breed. So I just guessed rare breed on all of them. Because like I said, the one that was rare breed didn't taste like the rare breed that I had been drinking earlier.
You know, I made a joke out of it in the beginning when we were talking about prep.
Yeah.
What was happening. And you were like, I took a shower, I did my makeup, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm studying the competition. I'm studying the host. I'm bathing in Blue Run and brushing my teeth with Blanton's. Like I made a joke out of it, but I actually really was like studying the competition and studying the host. And we had a list of high alert bottles.
Yes.
And rare breed was on the list. Blanton's was on the list. Blue Run was on the list because me and Jay, like us and Jason, not so much you, but me and Jason both have expressed angst and ire towards Blanton's. Mm-hmm. And Jason is very vocal about his distaste for Blue Run and the way they do business. And we're both wild turkey heads, and Jason's a self-professed wild turkey head as well. So I was on high alert for rare breed, Russell's Reserve, any wild turkey I was on high alert for. Because Matt plays that kind of stuff. He's a mental
gymnast.
Yeah, a mental gymnast. So, and I was also on high alert for New Riff Rye and New Riff Bourbon, because Matt knows how much we like New Riff Bourbon. Yeah. So we had a couple of bottles we were on high alert for. You did not tell me you were doing that. I didn't look at any of your answers.
That was a last minute decision. That wasn't planned.
That was the most brilliant, most hilarious thing of you guessing rare breed for every bottle.
Well, that was the only.
I could not believe it.
That was the only thing, because like I wasn't gonna guess anything because I don't know bottles, you guys, and I won't, and I don't try to. But that was kind of like a last minute decision. I was like, I'm just gonna guess rare breed because I bet rare breed's one of them. And I just said rare breed for everything. And then Shayla texted back and said, bourbon or rye? And I was like, oh, bourbon. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, no, I want to say rye, but I kept it. And I was
that's
right.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a stroke of absolute genius. Like, I was so impressed by that. That was so cool.
It was like split second decision on my part.
That was something else. Like that knocked my socks off. Like, I'm still almost speechless over it. And I could tell Matt was like, wait, you did what? Like, you didn't guess a 50-50, but you guessed rare breed for every bottle? Like,
because
unreal.
If I didn't, I would have gotten them all wrong.
Yeah.
If I had tried to guess which one was rare breed, I would have gotten them all wrong. And this way, I at least got one right.
Yeah.
That was what I was hoping for.
It was unreal. And then, so I guess Saffel, I was wrong. You were right. I think Jason guessed. I can't remember what Jason guessed on Glass B. But it wasn't rare breed. So Jason and I were both wrong. Erin was right. Going on to sample C, I was all in on the New Riff Rye. I thought the proof point matched. I thought the flavor profile matched to some of the best New Riff Rye single barrels that we've had. I thought the mental warfare element was there for Matt. Towards Jason, like, I thought there might be a rare breed or wild turkey for us, but that was for Jason. And it was so off. If I would have drank it and thought it was 124 proof, that was my guess, was Matt's rye pick. But it just, in that flight, it did not drink that high.
I will attest to that. It didn't.
Yeah. It was something else. So we were all wrong on that one. And like Jason was saying, like, it drank so much older. And if I would have thought Canadian, then I would have been on Jason's train. But I was just thinking, and I said train, and now I'm thinking of David's songs that were so good about the train and Fred Minnick. Like, if you're a whiskey tube nerd, like, that Fred Minnick moment was absolutely unreal in the history, in the canon of whiskey tube. That is maybe the most funny moment that's ever happened. Bill asked if the sample of Matt's rye drank that high of proof. Not in a flight, trying it by itself, 124 proof. It doesn't drink that high with spice, but the finish lasts that long. But in the flight and in that 30-second window or a 3-minute window for guessing 4 pours, you don't really have time to let the finish marinate and really assess how long it drags out. So that was another challenging aspect of being able to properly guess that at its proof point. So, I think that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to give Matt any crazy ideas for next round versus me or anybody else. But then going into the last glass, I had no clue, what the score was. I assumed Jason was doing very well. I didn't know what to think about how Erin was doing. She's over here not guessing 50-50s and sending rare brief for every bottle. So who knows what's going on in her head.
I mean,
but
I didn't know either.
So I actually wrote a sample note of Knob Creek single barrel ? Because I knew it was an ECBP, but it was coming across kind of proofy, but kind of fruity too, like some of those Knob Creek picks can, and kind of peanutty. And Jason guessed OGD 114. And we have talked about this on the channel before. We don't like OGD 114. We know why people do like it, but there's a funky note, like kind of a distiller's beer, yeasty, raw, young note on it. And I don't like it. So that never crossed my mind. But Jason was brilliant for that guess, because the proof point and the beam flavor profile matched up. So he was all over it. But I don't like it. I have such an aversion towards that.
That you knew it wasn't that.
Yeah. So I didn't even go there with my head, because I really did enjoy the pour. So I'm like, man, what is Jim Beam but not 120 proof? And I've never even had Baker's single barrel, but I've had the Baker's small batch, the older bottles. So I was like, Baker's single barrel is, if it's Jim Beam and it's 107 proof, which I'm almost confident that it is, the only thing it could be is Baker's single barrel. So that was my bottle guess. And it turned out that was correct. And that bottle guess is what bumped me up to the highest score. Yeah. So honestly, for, even without the bottle guess, and if it had been OGD 114, then Jason would have been very close. Like, I think it would have been like 19-17. I still would have pulled out the win. But again, like, Jason can taste circles around me all day long. It's that 30-second timer that's the great equalizer. Yeah. And Matt's and David's with the songs, the mental warfare that goes into this thing. So it really does require a lot of educated guessing. Some whiskey nerd knowledge helped me out. You did some strategic guessing.
Strategic guessing helped me out.
Yeah. And so it was a ton of fun. Cannot wait for the next round. It looks like I'm up against Chris from Hot Buttery Rolls and Dan Light from Lifetime Whiskey.
Oh, nice.
Which is going to be a ton of fun to go against those guys. Chris is one of the Chris from Hot Buttery Rolls and David and Kira, like, those three are probably like, and Matt, I'd say those four are like the wittiest, funniest people. Like they're just
on the spot.
They're just quick on their feet. And Dan Like is also really funny as well. So it's going to be really interesting to go into that. And Dan likes
you're a little slower on the uptake.
I'm a little slower on the uptake, and I'm real nerdy. So it'll be really interesting to go. I mean, Grease's, I hope you get empanada points, flew right over my head. So I'm going to be.
I explained it to you.
I'm going to be a little bit out of my depth on muscles and wit against these guys, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of training between now and then. So Tight Cuts asked, how's the Talisker? Where are you at on this?
It's good. I finished it.
Are you thumbs up across the board?
Yep.
I'll give it, honestly,
it's like really easy to drink.
I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up on the nose. The nose is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to give it a single thumbs up on the flavors. I'm going to give it a just okay on the experience, only because I want a little bit more oomph there.
I appreciate peated that's not like in your face. You know, I can appreciate this. It's like here, it's staying in its lane. Yeah. And I give it props.
And some of this is probably because we had like 120 something proof 4-gate and then 130 proof Seagrass 16. And now we're down here at 90 proof. But this is holding its own flavor concentration wise compared to those big proofy pours. We're just coming off a lot of depth and deepness and darkness. And this is more like, this is like a peated summery port. It's like light, it's bright.
I want to sip it on a porch or something. Yeah.
If I tried this all by itself, I'm probably thumbs up across the board, except 2 thumbs up on the nose. So it is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know how much a bottle of this stuff costs. Maybe you guys can let us know in chat. This is the, where did I put it? Talisker Distillers Edition, double matured in Amoroso Cask wood. Let us know if you know how much this stuff costs in the chat. I'd love to know. If it's, I know Scotch can be more expensive. If this is $100 or less, I'm a buy for sure. This is, I'm real happy with this.
About 5 more minutes and then we'll need to call it.
Yeah, I think so. So any last minute Matt Madness questions, hit us up.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes and then we're done.
Yeah,
it's bedtime.
We got a blind flight night to do tomorrow.
Yep.
With
it's
our
a school
Patron
night
crew
and blind flight
and a couple of guests. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So Tight Cut says stick with your first guess and in the end never regret any second guesses.
Yes.
Erin tells me this all the time. I'm a nerd. I really study this.
You do.
Eric's saying it's around 120. I'm buying it at that to have a bottle for sure. I wouldn't buy multiple bottles, but I'd actually love to have a bottle this round. It's really good. I don't know if I like it better than Oakdale. I like the proof of Oakdale more.
Yeah.
But this is good if I wanted something like Oakdale with less proof. But yeah, the sticking with your gut is the biggest thing I learned in the training. Actually, there's a couple of really big things I learned in the training that I'm not going to talk about publicly because I want to tip off any competition. I do want to really do well at this. And I've got some methodology and some approaches that I take that I think
but trusting your gut
really
is one of the ones I think that you are working on that has served you well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, do not second guess yourself. I love brush your teeth with Blanton's, gargle with Seagrass.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, Matt Madness was so fun. I cannot believe I'm not a competitive guy. Other than with myself, I did want to do well. The fact that I got high score in round 1, that was said.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it. I actually went back and watched the end of the one with Dan Shook because I thought he scored 24. He scored 22 and Sean scored 21 from Bourbon Junkies. So yeah, that's wild. So even if I'm 2.4 points next time on Matt Madness, I'm going to smile. I'm going to be happy.
Yep.
I was already going to do that anyways because we had a good time.
Yeah.
But are you going to join me?
Yeah, if you'll let me.
Yeah, you're going to be on screen with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have you here dancing to the songs.
Okay.
Oh, that'll be the best. I'm
I
sitting over here. Okay, yeah. I'll be sitting over here tasting and trying to do my best in Matt Madness. And you can just vibe out to the songs. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of wonder if David will write new songs because I think he's got songs. He doesn't have any songs for Hot Buttery Rolls because Hot Buttery got to pass the second round.
Okay.
But Dan, he's already got songs for. Maybe he'll write some specific songs for me
about you
rather than just us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. David's doing so much work.
Yeah.
Tight Cut said no peeing on yourself. I said that last night. And the thing is, I was talking about.
When did you say that?
I was talking about peeing on myself because I was so nervous.
You mean Friday?
Friday.
Yeah.
I was talking about peeing on myself because I was so nervous. I said something like I peed a little bit because I was so nervous. I didn't get the nervous part out. There was no context to that comment, and people probably thought I was a lunatic. Hey, David Jennings, Redbird 101's in the house.
Nice.
Cheers, man. We gave you a shout out at the top of the stream for joining in on Patreon. We really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike said you can do the hockey mask.
I could. Man, that brings me back to
fun.
What's that horror movie with oh my gosh, I Know What You Did Last Summer with the
hockey mask is Jason, Friday the 13th.
No, but there's another one. Scream.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, we're gonna wind it down, guys. Yeah. We really would try to stick 2 hours, but we had to go a little extra to get in all this Matt Madness talk.
Josh is a little extra.
Well, and it's our 1 year anniversary.
It is our 1 year anniversary. Happy 1 year anniversary of the channel.
It's a special occasion. We can hang out a little bit longer.
We can.
Yeah. It's only our sleep that we're impinging upon, which is all right with me, but
super
Erin does not like that. Yeah. Oh, I just remember Mondays are my early day at work, so that's
we better get off.
We gotta get to bed. So nonetheless, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
You
thank you for the last year of this channel. Like us being able to be a part of this is such an honor and we're so happy to be here
Yeah,
with you guys.
we are. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. Honestly, we probably would have stopped a long time ago because if no one's watching, what's the point?
Yeah. You guys make the work worth it.
Yep.
Like we can do other creative projects together as well. Like we've had our fun there, but you guys keep us going.
Yeah.
So
it's so fun.
Good night, Mama P.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Yes.
We love you all.
Mwah.
We'll see you next time. Next month, my birthday live stream.
Oh yeah.
We're going big.
Yep.
And we're already at home, which is probably good because there's going to be some barrel proof whiskey consumed.
Oh, dang. All right. And on that, we out.
Cheers, y'all.